it was a good sign early because Betty didn't want to mess with it, given that it wasn't broken.
No, that's exactly right, and he has been able to pick it up and run with it and keep the senior players working along, which is exactly what it's about. And they've got some experienced senior heads that just know how to play footy. We see Daniel Healy just starting out there for the central side. He's just a little bit loose there.
Well, it'll be interesting. His direct opponent will be Matthew Scott Toms, who's playing his first game. Oh no, they've just put now Wicks on Healy.
Set to go. Central's kicking to the northern end. Up in the ruck for Sturt. Bishop does a pretty good job, taps it down. Marco Bello waiting, was in great form last week for Central. He's in after the footy again. Gathers it and kicks in the one motion. Not quite an effective kick, but he's going to get it back in the old 1-2 with a handball. Can't do much with it though. Comes towards Coulter. Hand passes it out in front of himself, searching for the boundary. Pretty intense start already. A couple of seconds in, and it looks like both these sides are going to give it everything this afternoon.
Yeah, Coulter backed himself in there, and you wouldn't normally do that against Wicks, and Wicks subsequently caught him, but Coulter showed a good mature head, went for the boundary, left half forward flank, doggies into attack, palm down, Squire was it at the bottom, he was taken nevertheless, and there'll be another bounce down. 65 out from Central goals. They're kicking to the northern end of Nap Oval.
I just noticed they're very accountable early, both sides, and it just gives you that feeling it's going to be one of those one-on-one contests that's going to be tight all over the ground. Ball thrown up by the umpire, not bounced down, instead comes to ground level. Sheedy gets on top of it, ridden into the ground, and up in the back, says the umpire. In fact, we'll come in and have another ball up. Looks like it might be a touch soft underfoot. The umpire may ball it up around the ground. He does just that. Throws it up instead of bounces it. Luke Cowan doing the ruck work for Centrals against Bishop. Neither can get a decisive tap. Players in on it again. That tight start, tight matchups I talked about is evident early in the first minute or so, because no one's giving either side any room. The side that can open the game up will be the one that'll get out to a handy lead, you think. Comes away with Wicks from that ball up. He gets a kick around the corner, looking for Scott Toms. Couldn't quite take it. Goes back in again, or met with a big tackle. Good tackle laid by Hopwood. Quick kick forward. Coulter trying to claim the mark, but the umpire says it's gone out of bounds on the full, and Wicks will take the resultant free kick. Deep on the half-back flank for the Central for the Sturt side, I should say. Grandstand side of the NAP Oval. Works it along the boundary line towards centre wing. Looking for White. Also Bishop there, forced under it by Hopwood. He was the fourth man in the line, and he was clever enough to judge it and take a good mark. Centre wing goes in short, very, very short. Finds Gowns, it's James. He gets on the right boot and puts it to the hot spot. They need a big mark here, Central District. They work hard through centre half forward. Free kick advantage paid. Oh, everyone stops. Steinburner has it now. He's played on quickly. He runs into an open goal. And I think he's kicked the first score of the afternoon, and it is a major. The Doggy fans are happy with that. Nathan Steinburner put through the first of the afternoon on the faster scoreboard. 1 goal to Central. Sturt yet to score. This is 5D in footy.
Ciao, my name is Jacundo Kayon. I was proud to establish Regani's Bistro in 1979. Now, Regani's has a new owner, Rene Psellos, with previous chef Tom Bubner, and I'm ecstatic to see that they're returning to the traditional Italian cuisine I introduced 25 years ago. Regani's Bistro, drop in for lunch and dinner. Any function inquiries are also very welcome. Regani's Bistro, Adelaide's authentic Italian restaurant with modern methods. 27 Lee Street in the city. Book now. Phone 8231 5160.
Play commences. Nelson's tackled with the ball after Scholar got the tap. There'll be a ball up again. Just Central side of centre circle. A free kick paid against Matthew Den a few moments ago. Advantage paid. Steinburner got the first score of the afternoon. The faster pass to scoreboard. They lead 1 straight goal. Sturt yet to score. Tap down. First player there, Steinburner. Just couldn't get a handle on it. Hopwood can. Standing start. Gathers 50 metres to within 40. Cowan put one hand up. Couldn't rip the ball in. Bottom of the pack, it's all the double blues. Throwing the ball, I would have thought. Play on was the call. Campbell comes in late. There'll be a ball up. 40 metres out from Central District goals. They are kicking to the northern end. Troy Wingard said with a slither of breeze. 3 minutes and 3/4 gone, first quarter.
I did say worth 5 points because I don't think it's quite worth a goal. Ball thrown up. Bishop doing the ruck work for the Central side. Marco Bello takes it out of the air, kicks it forward quickly. All Sturt players lurking around the ball. One of those is Wicks as well. Deep in the defence, he's going to be corralled towards the boundary line. Shares it around now with Graham. He pops the hand pass over the top. They're away and moving through Smith. Sharing it nicely now, Sheedy. Right foot kick up along the boundary line, looking for touch, doesn't find it. Out of bounds on the full in front of Curtis. And Hopwood again, who's been busy early, will take the resultant free kick. In fact, it's a free hand pass because he gives it away to Daniel Healy, the skipper, on his left boot. Puts him inside forward 50. Need a big mark. Massive fly! Oh, goodness me, has he taken the mark? Not quite little, Matty Slade. Got 3 times his height. He's not a big fella. Was it Slade or Gilbert? It was Slade that got up high. Luke Cowan was in there as well. Whoever did that fly, it was absolutely amazing. He's launched himself from 2 or 3 deep, and I thought he pulled it down, Poppy.
Just inside forward 50, Doggies into attack. Weatherald gets the ball, looks for a runner and finds one. Off they go, the double blues through Dent. Defensive 50, risky play, looking for the big fella there for the double blues and can't find Bishop. Steinburn around the corner. Can he find a man? He can. Nice work. The Doggies get to settle through Slade. Inboard, in fact it wasn't Slade, but they'll find a winner now in Bello. 45 out, basically directly in front. Marco Bello.
You're right, that was Slade to Bello. He's been a live wire up forward for them already, Matty Slade, and he's got it to Bello.
So Bello, who was brilliant last week against the Tigers, 95 goals in 95 games before today, and will kick from 45 off the leather. Looks okay, straight through the middle. You little beaut, says Marco Bello. 2 straight goals in the pass the scoreboard. That's a total of 12. Sturt yet to break their forward 50 with any real meaningful thrust forward, Corey. The double blues probably not wanting the sort of start they've got at the minute.
A tense, tight start, as we said. Players are manning up. It looked like it was going to be a real one-on-one contest, and so far that's played in the Central's hands.
Just early on, fellas, Central 4 inside 50, Sturt 0. No centre breaks at the Blues either, both going Central's way. Hopwood has 3 touches for Doggies, as does Bello for Sturt. Wicks is leading the way with 2 kicks and a handball.
You also sent Sturt trying to set their forward thrust up off half back instead of trying to go head-to-head with the Doggies in the midfield and break them up. Let's see how we go this time. Ball bounced down. Big Bishop got high. No one got a decisive tap. Working hard in there. Riley tries to switch a hand pass out towards Wicks. He couldn't quite. Tries to poke it forward. Chance now for Chris Gowans, who knocked it in his pass. Gets it across to Heath Hopwood again. Been busy off half back. Kick around the corner. Doesn't find a teammate, and Sturt has some numbers. What can they set up here from centre wing? Out of side, they go long to half forward. Need a winner at centre half forward, but it's all Hereda back there, is it? Taking a good defensive mark. He's ever reliable back there, Brian Hereda. Switched it across. Finds his skipper in Healy. He's got some space and some time, looking for Sutala, centre wing, grandstand side. He's got runners inboard. Sturt just don't have the numbers at the footy at the moment. Hay it is, left foot kick inside 50. Luke Cowan gets up, big fly again, gets his hand to it, couldn't bring it down on that occasion. Almost trying to sock it forward. In fact, giving up a free kick there for the Central District side was Eddie Sansbury. And Sturt should relieve the pressure coming grandstand side.
They do find Beveridge just short of centre wing. Sturt kicking to the southern end, yet to break their forward 50 and trailing by 2 straight goals. 7 minutes gone first quarter. Beveridge stops as the Doggies flood back, looking for an option. That wasn't the right one. Marco Bello doesn't play for the double blues. He takes the mark though, just forward of left half back flank. Grandstand side, Bello sends the Doggies threatening forward 50. Cowan, geez, he looks dangerous today. 2 really super efforts earlier, but that one a good strong mark. He's really starting to find some decent form. Handball's off to Bello. Bello, can he find Steinburner? Well, I'm not sure that was his target, but Steinburner was the teammate that took a chest mark 20 metres out on a slightest of angle, and he will, you think, get Central's 3rd goal of the afternoon.
Nathan Steinburner coming up for his 3rd kick. That was his first mark. As you see, he's already kicked 1 goal today.
The Bay Lady Windsock, Poppy, I'm hoping for Sturt's sake that it's worth 4 to 5 goals. The way they've opened up the Bulldogs, kicking with the aid of any breeze there is, and we don't think it's worth much, but they're getting the job done, the Central District side.
Pretty good, Nathan Steinburner. Complete reversal of how they started last week against the Bays. It was all the Tigers last week. Today it's all the Bulldogs. The double blues look flat. His 2nd goal, Nathan Steinburner. 3 straight goals on the faster pass to scoreboard. Sturt yet to score. This is 5DN footy.
Look at these. Beautiful basins and toilets. The latest in European styles. The Tatway too. It's just fantastic. Kitchen appliances, stainless steel ovens, hot plates, canopies and dishwashers. If only we could afford to get these when we renovate.
What are you two crooning over? Sounds like you've been down to Northern Plumbing Supplies at Findon.
Northern Plumbing Supplies?
Yep, they have all that and more, and very affordable. Didn't you know that? Well. Northern Plumbing Supplies. Amazing products, amazing prices. Around the grounds, thanks to Best Friend Magnetic Pain Relief Products, the original and the best. The Tigers a 15-point lead over the Redlegs at Norwood. West Adelaide 1-2-8 leading Port yet to score. It's all tied up 1 goal, 1-7 apiece at Woodville between the Eagles and North Adelaide. At the MCG, a blinder of a quarter from Melbourne. They now lead 6-6-42 over Essendon's 6-4-40 after trailing by 29 points at quarter time. And at Canberra at Manuka Oval, it's the Kangaroos and Geelong, and it's Kangaroos 8-5-53 over Geelong 7-5-47.
Back at the NAP Oval, Centrals go forward again out to the outer side. Half forward flank. Pushed off the footy there was Bellows. Sturt come up with it to Weatherald. He's besieged by 2, 3, 4 dogs. The pack descend on top of him. He's wrapped up and he's pinged, the umpire says.
Tough call.
Didn't get it out. Free kick going the way of the Bulldogs, and it's Evil Roy Slade. He's got it, half-forward flank. They've been ferocious so far, the Bulldogs. Sturt after a great win over Westies last week. As Poppy said, look flat, he goes to the outer side, big fly, no one can take it. Bellows waiting at ground level. He's been very damaging. Back to Steinburner. The numbers are still with the Bulldogs. This time it's Healy. Left foot kick up in the air to the hot spot. Bishop sets himself. The big fella flies. Should have taken the mark, didn't. Comes to ground level. Nelson working hard. He's tackled immediately, can't get it out. The umpire this time says you had no chance. 40 metres out, directly in front of Central's goal. On the faster pass the scoreboard, Central's 3 straight. Sturt yet to score. We've played just over 10 minutes in this first term.
Ball bounced down. Bishop beaten to it by Cowan, who thumps it forward, gains 10 metres out the back. Shell got the favourable bounce, couldn't make the most of it. Nice work by Sheedy in the end for the Double Blues. Defensive 50, goes towards left half back flank. Can't find a target. The first player there for Sturt was the new face, Matthew Scott Toms, the young bloke from Darwin who got an opportunity because of a Seamus Maloney injury during the week. And there'll be a bounce down, nevertheless. Right half forward, Central into attack.
Poppy, the problem for Brenton Phillips here is, and it is for every coach against Centrals, you maybe tag Marco Bello, but you do that, you probably leave another one to go free. We'll have a look at that a little bit more as the Bulldogs soccer the ball a little bit further forward, make about 20 metres, another boundary throw in right in front of the faster pass the scoreboard. But would you consider that perhaps putting a runner with Marco Bello? He's very dangerous.
He's in exceptional form, hasn't he, been in recent weeks. Cowan looks dangerous early in this game as well. You need to stop the rot soon. 3 goals can quickly turn into 5 or 6, and all of a sudden the game's beyond you, and it's only early on.
Cowan doing the ruck work up against Bishop. Neither can get a decisive tap. Tight in close. Not a spectacular piece of play there. The umpire forced to come in and have a bounce. We're about 60 metres out from Central's goal. Check inside 50s again with Big John, but I still don't think Sturt have even got close. They probably haven't been inside 75 if you were to keep one of those stats, that's for sure and certain. Here they come trying to set something up off half back. Riley switches play, goes to the outer side, finds Wicks. He's got Bishop running for him. He's got to run hard, but he's owned off nicely. They're playing a clever brand of footy, the Central defence in particular. Up towards centre wing, it's all Bulldogs. Tyson Hay, he's been in some special form so far this year too. Did a good job last week on shoeback for Glenelg. He goes inboard, finds Healy. Healy's got numbers and runners inside. He takes his time to get it there, but he still can find Matty Slade. He's been busy early in this game, as Poppy pointed out as well. Inside 50, big mark needed. Fly, hands on it. Bishop thought that could have been paid. The umpire said play on. Sturt with the numbers, and the pressure comes from Central defenders. They work it out. They finesse a little bit too much. The umpire's found a free kick here. That was a soft one. I think that goes back to make up for the mark he didn't pay. And Whiteman it is for the Double Blues that relieves and comes grandstand side.
Looks for White, finds White. Can he keep it in? He can. Can he find a teammate at this stage? He cannot. Swatala taken from both sides. Well, I thought the tackle was fair. The umpire said it was too high. It was against Cooper. Inboard, Swatala finds a teammate. Nice work. Off they go again. Herrera gets on the end of it and kicks to within 45. Shells the target. Can he get a favourable bounce? No, he can't. Bishop makes it even tougher by providing a good contest. A quick kick off the ground by Shell. Edges the doggies forward before Sturt block it off and find Dent just short of left half back flank. Around the body he goes in the direction of Scott's Toms. He can't get the handle on the ball. Trying to be a little bit too clever there for the Central District. And Slade, pretty clever himself, but couldn't find Gowans. Now it's Cooper. Gee, the pressure's hot out there. The doggies are keeping the pressure right on Sturt. Nelson taken with the ball. Now they've got to break the Double Blues, but they need to get past half forward. That's the danger. And Herrera proves to be a massive hurdle around about centre wing and plays on quickly to Steinburner. The doggies into attack again.
Steinburner wobbly kick inside forward 50. Howman's there. He should cut it off. They're having to do plenty of work, the Sturt defence. Central District 3 straight goals. Sturt yet to score. He comes grandstand side, finds Smith. Holds the footy up. Not many options up forward. He does. He goes inboard to Conway now. Has to find the target. Does. Conway takes the mark. He's come onto the ground. Brenton Phillips doesn't make many changes during the course of a match, but he's got Conway on there fairly quickly. 25-metre penalty as well.
I think it was there.
Yep, holding on to Conway against Swatala. Conway plays on with a hand pass. Inboard to Wicks. He goes long towards centre half forward. Half forward flank, I should say. Matty Cooper's got some space. Onto his trusty left boot. The lead is on from Beveridge. It carries over him, but ball spills to ground level. Beveridge should go. They're first inside 50, and they'll get a goal, the Double Blues. Andrew Beveridge slots one through. They needed that, Sturt. Their first goal of the afternoon. Centrals have 3. on the faster past the scoreboard. This is 5 the End footy.
Your fun on water starts at Pitman's Marine. Pitman's Marine give you a fantastic range of boats, including Quintrex with the Millennium Hull, Whitley cruisers and fishing boats, and Cruise Craft sports fishing boats, all powered by the very best in outboard motors from Yamaha. Check out the new Quintrex Coast Runners from 4.55 to 6 metres. Ask for a demo today and see the difference the Millennium Hull makes. If you're into fishing or boating, your fun on water starts at Pitman's Marine. Don't put it off. See the guys at Pitman's Marine now. 420 Main North Road, Blair Athol.
Let's go around the grounds for a quick score update. Thanks to Best Friend Magnetic Pain Relief Products, the original and the best. It's Glenelg 2-4-16 over Norwood, 2 points. At Richmond, it's Westies 1-3-9 trailing Port 2-1-13. Pretty tight at Woodville, Eagles 2-2-14 over North Adelaide 2-1-13. At the MCG, Essendon back in front 8-5-53 over the Demons 7-6-48. And Geelong in front at Canberra 8-6-54, leading the Kangaroos 8-5-53.
Back here at Nap Oval, free kick, Doggies back half, off they go again. Herrera in the corridor, but still in defensive 50, finds Hopwood. He's got the runner, the skipper Daniel Healy on that left foot. Just short of half back, goes looking. Can he find his teammate Watala? Cannot. Good play by Wicks, good pressure, taps it outside the contest. Healy goes towards the boundary where Watala looms. Left foot, puts it back inside play. Cowan, he's going to be BOG today. You can just see a player early that's going to turn a game on its head, and this is the bloke. Cowan, can he find a teammate? Shell on the lead, Bishop on his hammer, but Shell too strong in the air. They're two key forwards proving to be very dangerous earlier this game. 16 minutes gone, Central 3 goals, Sturt 1 straight goal.
Poppy, I've just made the note here on my pad, and we've mentioned it before when we've watched Centrals. We've mentioned how great their midfield is, but where they have really lacked has been centre-half forward, and I've got to agree with you. Luke Cowan, the tail is up. He's taken a couple of big grabs already, one that perhaps wasn't paid, could have been, and he's just going to fight for everything today, and he is going to have a red-hot day, I have to agree.
Daniel Shell, 45-degree angle from about 40 metres off the boot, just sprays it to the right. First minor score of the afternoon. The Doggies 3-1-19, Sturt 1 straight goal on the faster past the scoreboard. John Nankerville.
Inside 50 to this point, fellas. Central 13, Sturt 2.
That hurts. That really does hurt. Sturt to set something up from the full back line this time. Holding on to it, waiting to find a teammate. Smith makes the lead for him now, and he has it 20 metres out directly in front. Matched up with Bello. An interesting match-up, that one. Goes back to Dent, who kicked it in from full back, and he goes short, finds Howman. Pokes the pass over the top. Graham is on. A lot of possessions. They just get it outside their 50 now with 4 kicks. Central's dropping back, zoning off in defence. They go towards centre-half forward. Need a big mark here. Good fly. Good mark taken there by Scholar. And he's quick to play on as well. Here come the Dogs. Steinburner. Can he get a handle on it? Does at ground level. Shares it along to Matthew Slade. He's got numbers. They run forward so well, Central Districts. Give it to Chris Gowan. He shares it this time with Cotter. Left foot kick. Bit casual. Away to the right and just through for a minor score. The second minor score of the afternoon. Central's 3-2-20. Sturt 1 straight goal on the faster past the scoreboard. Our 5 p.m. match of the day brought to you by the good guys at Angus Securities, paying fixed interest on your investment.
Matty Dent brings the ball back into play against a fairly heavy zone. Sturt are trying to do what they tried just a few moments ago and don't give the ball up, find a target. If it means holding on to the ball a bit longer, they do. They find Cooper just outside 50. In fact, he's about 60 metres from central goals. He tries a risky play, but Cowan takes it one-handed. I tell you what, he'll pull a rabbit out of his shorts before half-time. Plays on quickly. Swatala inside 50. Bingo! Goal number 4, the Doggies 4-2-26. Sturt 1 straight goal, 10 minutes gone. This is footy at its best on 5DM.
If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, you've probably already lost a lot. If you don't know where to go from here, write down this number, 8212-3566. It's the number of Paleos, Megan and Nicholson, personal injury lawyers. At Paleos, Megan and Nicholson, they've been getting maximum compensation for injured South Australians for over 22 years. With 22 years of knowledge and experience, you'll know you're in good hands. Paleos, Megan and Nicholson. Maximum compensation.
Back here at the NAP Oval, Central's doing it comfortably in the early stages of this first term. Bello, quick kick out of the middle. It's touch number 7 for him. As far as Sainsbury, quick to play on. He's leading Dent, a merry dance. Inside forward 50, Smith has worked his opponent under it with a bit too much push and shove. And the free kick will go the way of Daniel Shell, and he's just the right side of centre, 25 metres out directly in front. I'm that confident. I'm going to turn the pen around and put a number 1 next to his name.
Aren't they missing
first goal of the afternoon
in that back half?
Good point.
John Neckerville.
Just on some of those central players with touches, Bellow 7, Slade 8, Steinburner 6, Healy 5. For Sturt, it's Wicks, who has had 5 kicks, 1 handball, 6 touches.
Ball with Shell. I've already put it down for a goal, so you better not miss this because I didn't bring the eraser. Shell from almost directly in front doesn't let me down. It is goal number 5 on the board for Central District. Was played about 19 minutes of this first term. 5-2 to 1 straight goal for the Double Blues on 5DN Footy.
Hello, this is Franca from Roller Blinds, the window shutter people. Do you know how much heat you're losing through your windows in winter? Window shutters will help to keep the warmth in and the cold out, so you use less energy and stay warm and cosy for longer. They'll also keep you cooler in summer. We're a family business, so we serve you better. No pressure and ongoing service. We'll even service our competitors' blinds. So call me, Franca, at Roller Blinds, the window shutter people, on 8337 3081.
Ball bounced down. Sturt getting desperate. Sheedy, good hands to Cooper. Cooper searches for a teammate and couldn't find one. Eventually they arc it around towards Wicks, who comes grandstand side, back of the pack. Beveridge tries to take the man, can't get near the ball. In fact, it could have been Sheedy, I feel. Off they go, nevertheless, it is Beveridge. 70 out, stops and props and sits there, almost stagnant. And then goes and finds Scott Thomas. Bellow came in hard and late. I thought it was fair. He just caught him high. Behind play, Squires upset a few.
Elbow's just taken his nose off.
Yeah, but I sincerely think Bellow went for the ball then.
It was sloppy. It was unintentional, but it was a bit sloppy.
It was. And what was going to be Matthew Scott Tom's first touch of SANFL football at senior level turns out to be a blood rule, and he's off the ground, unfortunately.
I'll give him thumbs up for commitment. He went for the footy. Yep. He saw it there. It was a hard ball to get. Bellow was closing, and he didn't take his eye off the ball, and Sturt need a bit more of that this afternoon. That could be leading the way. Weatherall coming back on the ground to Sturt.
Opened him up nicely. 60 metres out. Weatherall comes on. Lack of concentration by Central. He's all by himself. But that's just about the way Sturt's day's gone early. The kick was absolutely pathetic. And Weatherall had all the space in the world and went over the top of his head. Not that that's hard to do. And out of play. On the intersection of 50 and boundary, grandstand side, Sturt into attack.
Ball thrown in. Scholar at the back. White at the front. Scholar gets a clever tap back. Looking for Thomas. He's wrapped up as soon as he gathers the footy by 3 Double Blues players. And the umpire comes in for a bounce. Inside forward 50 for the Double Blues. Getting a little bit willing after that tough contest. It could be the spark Sturt need. They're going to put their bodies on the line and start attacking the footy. They've just been second to it so far this afternoon. We've played just over 22 minutes in this first term. Umpire throws the ball up, stacks on the mill once more. We will have another ball up to restart play. 55 metres out from the Double Blue goal.
Squire, how many touches in 23 minutes of football, John Neckerville?
Not a one, Poppy.
Exactly right. Expect him to put his impact on the game. Next opportunity he gets. He's just searching for an opponent to knock around because he's getting frustrated, as are a number of Sturt players. The blood rule has lifted the tempo.
Credit must go to Paul Thomas. He's got the job on Damien Squire this afternoon, wearing him very, very tight.
Ball, right half forward, just forward of that for Sturt. White does the ruck work, gets the tap. Can he find a teammate? He can. Nice work too. It was Curtis. Did Squire get his first touch? He might have. Whiteman over the top. White must goal. Arc of 50, kicks towards the big sticks and just offline, made the distance comfortably, 55 in fact. But a minor score, 117 on the faster scoreboard are the Double Blues, and Central are 5-2-32.
Big kick from White from 50 metres out proves that this breeze probably isn't worth 5 points, it may be only worth 3, because he was kicking into it and it really didn't affect him whatsoever. Here come the Dogs as they come out from full back, get it to the outer side. Steinburner it is, pops a pass over towards Hereda on centre wing. He's got runners galore, played again. He's been very busy, got to tighten up on him. Pass comes out, Shells on the lead. Couldn't mark it. Chris Gowans is lurking now, and guess what? He snaps it round the corner, and it's across the face. If it doesn't go out of bounds, it finally goes out of bounds now. Goodness me. Bread and butter for Chrissy Gowans. Be disappointed with himself there. He roved it off the pack beautifully. Shell brought it front and square. Gowans was lurking, no pressure on him. Snapped it around the corner and pushed it right across the face. That far, in fact, it's probably 20 metres around from Central District goal. Ball thrown back in. Ruck work being done by Luke Cowan at the back. Couldn't quite affect a tap out. Sturt come up with the footy. This time Weatherall working nicely. Shares it with Howman. His kick along the boundary line. Not a good one. Getting back Hopwood. Taking a good defensive mark. Umpire play on off the boot it was. but it was Cowans that took that mark. Here comes Nelson, his first touch of the afternoon too, I would suspect, checking with Big John Nankerdos, his second in fact. It's a kick towards the arc of 50. 2-on-1 contest in favour of the Bulldogs. Chambers turns back on the footy and has the run of the ball. He's manhandled without it, claiming a free kick. The umpire calls play on. Beveridge now and Chambers. Chambers gets it out. White lurking as well. Goes to the hot spot, dropping back. Steinburner lets it bounce. Probably could have marked it on his chest. He's clever enough to gather it and get the Bulldogs out of trouble. They go to half-back flank where Chris Gowans is waiting.
Well, he was a bit too cute moments ago. This time he does the percentage play and finds Healy with an underground handball. Healy left foot kick to a contest around a right half forward. Slade gets on the end of it and feeds it off, and off they go. Sainsbury from 85 kicks to the leader. Shell got the hands to it, couldn't take it. Bishop poked out the left foot, stopped the run of the ball, and off he goes again. The Double Blues trying to mount an attack from deep in defence. They go inboard, give the ball away. Bello, quick kick forward to within 25, too high, free kick. Goes towards Bello, just outside 50. He'll kick from 55. Well, as Bello goes inboard to James Gowans, almost too easy.
3-on-1 there. 3 Sturt players, 1 Centrals player, and there was no pressure from the Double Blues. That's been their problem so far today.
And Bello, at the half-back line 5 minutes ago, applied pressure, gave up the free kick. And the pressure was so intense that the Sturt players left the ground on that occasion. 3 players surrounding James Gowan, and nothing happened. James Gowans kicks from 45, and it has made it through. It has indeed. Goal number 6. 6-2-38, Sturt 117. This is 5D in footy.
Experts who know get their gardens to grow by spreading Neutrog all year round.
Kevin Perkins from the Botanic Gardens.
In winter, applying organic fertiliser like Bounce Back to your garden will develop root growth and condition your soil.
For stockists, go to Neutrog.com. Bounce Back, part of Neutrog's year-round fertilising program.
Just spread Neutrog all year round.
Just quickly around the grounds, it's quarter time at Richmond, all thanks to Best Friend Magnetic Pain Relief products, the original and the best. It's Port 4-2-26 over Westies 2-4-16. Quarter time at Norwood, Glenelg 4-6-30 over Norwood 1-3-9. Almost quarter time at Woodville, it's Eagles 3-3-21 over North 2-1-13.
Back here at the NAP Oval, Centrals go forward again. Matty Smith sitting over the footy for Sturt, trying to get it out. Doesn't do so. He's been pinged. Sitting over the footy, tried to dragged it in. So the umpire said, Centrals players came from everywhere, saddled him up, and the umpire pinged him. So free kick for Centrals, directly in front of goal. 45-degree angle, 10 metres out, make it 15 to be generous. And the man who's had a very busy first term, Marco Bello, has the footy.
Come up for his 7th kick, 2 handballs, 9 possessions for him. Matty Slade has 10, Nathan Steinburn 8. Interestingly enough, fellas, free kicks 8-4 in favour of the Doggies in this first term.
They're just going hunting for the footy, no doubt about that. Bello from point blank range bends it round and puts it through. Oh, and he might give away another free kick here if he's not careful. Curtis just demonstrating with him. I think Bello took a dive, but Bello has kicked another one. They're doing it very, very comfortably this afternoon, Central District. Sturt just do not have the answers at the moment. On the faster pass to scoreboard, Central 7-2, Sturt 1-1.
Well, just behind plate, Curtis is feeling that if they're going to go down, they're going to go down fighting. He's just starting to rough up a few players. But
forget the man, go for the footy.
Yeah.
They just haven't done it today, the Double Blues.
You're right.
It would be hard to imagine anyone that went and saw them beat West Adelaide last week. They must really be shaking their head because they can't have played like this and beaten West Adelaide like they did last weekend, because they really haven't had a good crack at it today. Cooper working in hard over the footy. He can't quite get it out. Central's players bottling it up. Poor bounce by the umpire. See if he can do a better job this time. NAP Oval, 5 the ends match of the day, thanks to the guys at Angus Security. Central 7-2-44 leads Sturt 1-1-7. That's a bit of bounce by the umpire, but Centrals have all the numbers there once more. Healy steps into some traffic, trying to be a bit cute. Not quite. They still have the numbers. The Bulldogs comes out the back door to Hopwood. He comes half-forward flank grandstand side, I should say, and finds Chris Gowans, who really is doing as he pleases. All the Centrals players are this afternoon. Inside forward 50, Shell on the lead. Swatala's going to burst through. Proper hand pass over the top, and Luke Cowan is going to put another one on the board. It's all too easy. All too easy for the Bulldogs this afternoon. That's goal number 8. 8-2-50. Sturt 1-1-7. The Double Blues are in big, big trouble.
Well, they certainly are, and Brenton Phillips, as the quarter-time siren goes, has got some thinking to do, because I'm not sure, actually, in saying all of that, you know what, I've got this funny feeling that the... Wait a minute, what's going on here? The benches from both sides have come onto the ground. The siren may have gone, but the umpire hasn't heard the siren. So there it goes now. The siren has been heard. Well, you know what? I thought the siren actually went as Cowan was kicking the ball through the goal.
Direction there from the umpiring director. Now that you say that, if that's the siren, I reckon it might have gone as he kicked it, but they've...
It actually went as he was receiving the hand.
That's right. I thought I heard the siren then, and when play continued, I thought maybe I was hearing things, but the benches came off. Quarter time anyway, when things aren't going your way, they don't go your way. Sturt of 1-1-7, Central 8-2-50. Brenton Phillips with some really serious thinking to do at quarter time. One of the options.
And 2-6, and Howman and Dent in defence getting a bit of a workout. 5 touches each for the Blues. They're the stats to quarter time, fellas.
Hobby goal scorers Marco Bello with 2, Steinburner with 2 singles to Luke Cowan, Shell, James Gowans and Adam Swatala. Just a 1 goal kicker for Sturt, and that was Andrew Beveridge. Set to go in the second term. Central's 8-2-50, leads Sturt 1-1-7. The Double Blues got to find some attack on the footy. They get the first one out of the centre. Wicks it is. He's been probably the best player so far. Pops the hand pass over to Squire. It's about his second touch. He's run down from behind by Bello, probably Central's best player. Comes out the way of Sheedy, though, in the tackle. Gets it up towards half-forward. Free kick. The umpire's picked out. Going the way of Central's. Didn't see what that was for, but it's going the way of Bello. It was costly because the kick forward by Sturt landed in the hands of Ben Nelson. Bello goes inboard, finds the skipper Healy, another player that's been busy, as John Nankerville mentioned. On his left boot, he's got some players in space on the outer side. The kick was smothered cleverly by Wicks. He goes back in, Healy I speak of, and gets it to Tyson Hay. The kick is still on the outer side. Sturt haven't gone and covered it, and Swatala comes up with the footy. Runs his full measure inside forward 50. Luke Cowan, you picked him, puppy. A massive leap from 3 deep. Got his hands on it, couldn't hold it. At ground level, James Gowans shows a bit of class, bends it round the corner. Look at the numbers. The Central, the defender, Heath Hopwood, takes the easiest of chest marks directly in front, 30 metres out.
I'm not sure what Brenton Phillips said at quarter time, but I'm sure it wasn't, don't worry about your opposition man, because Heath Hopwood has ran up from half back and found himself with plenty of space, 30 out directly in front, as you said, Wiz.
To be most accurate, he's just probably the left side of centre. Not that it's going to make much difference, because he'll put this through. Defenders love kicking goals, and Heath Hopwood hasn't let the Bulldogs down. He put that through. No, he hasn't. He has let the Doggies down. Daniel Shell in the goal square, clapping it through. I thought he might have conned the umpire, because he conned me. Minor score. He'll be dark on himself there, Heath Hopwood.
Well, you'd never be a goal umpire.
3.
You're too easily conned.
Yeah, not from the grandstand, I wouldn't be. 1-1. The Double Blues. They're still doing it comfortably, the Bulldogs. Looking to bring it back in. Ding a dent. Not much to go to. Comes grandstand side. Fires the pass out looking for Riley. Marco Bello gets there to chip it off. Doesn't take the mark, but he's good enough to get it back to Evil Roy Slade. His partner in crime. Back to Bello. Steinburner lurking. Kicked 2 goals already. Oh, that's a soft free kick, umpire. That is a real soft one, but Marco Bello will take it all the same. It's against Timmy Witherald. He's remonstrating with the umpire now. And Bello deep in the pocket.
That's the 4th free kick the Blues received today. 2 in the first, 2 in the second.
Penciling down for 3 McGarry votes, I'd reckon, this afternoon. He goes backwards, concedes some ground, looking for Cotter. Ball fisted away from him, but he's good enough to recover. Tackled by Squire, good tackle, dumps Cotter into the ground. Comes out the way of Cooper. Here's a chance to Sturt. Kicks to space, Cooper. Luke Cowan pushing back against White, rather Hereda, I should say, pushing back against White. Couldn't get a handle on it. Hereda happy to see it go out of bounds in front of the Central District dugout here at the NAP Oval. We've played almost 3 minutes of this second term. Central's 8-3, leads Sturt 1-1.
It'll be Scholar up against Bishop, centre wing, grandstand side. Bishop gets to the front. Scholar's got the height, though, and will get the tap. Finds Gowans. He, in turn, goes looking for Hopwood. Nelson got one high, is in a bit of bother. Over the right brow, kick towards Wicks. Well done in front of James Gowan. Takes a strong mark. The pressure was there. Stood tall, Wicks. And White provides a lead, but runs 5 and then stops dead and just waits. Not going to work that way, big fella. Got to keep on working. Wicks then just goes for distance. Can he find Chambers? He can, who works at the front of the pack and marks just inside 50. Goal square open. Squire was the target. Runs out of the play now, and he's still the target. In fact, it could be Sheedy.
Beveridge, I think.
Beveridge is it? Geez, he's working hard down there, Beveridge. He made some ground. He's kicked the only goal for the Double Blues in this game to date, and that was through hard work too early in the first quarter. And he'll have the opportunity to kick his second of the day, and Sturt's second of the afternoon as well.
I think his hard work in the forward 50 stands out so much because no one else is working for them.
Beveridge will kick from 45. In fact, he kicked right on the arc of 50. Didn't need to do that. Kicks right under the line and falls short. Hits the point post out of play. Boundary throw in on the right side. Sturt kicking to the northern end. 4 minutes gone, second quarter, a quarter even, and they trail by 44 points.
51 plays 7 on the faster scoreboard. Boundary umpire throws it back in. White through the ruckwork, caught behind. Scholar tries to release a quick hand pass. Numbers with the Double Blues, comes out the back door towards Cooper. Bends it round the corner, looking for a Double Blue target. Good defensive work there by Steinberner. Fisted away and releases a runner in Thomas. He's done a good job on Squire this afternoon, as we said, with a tag and roll. And he's kicked the beauty inside the Central's attacking zone. 55 out from goal. Luke Cowan's taken the mark. He's running hot. He goes looking for Shell. Shell infringed against by Smith. On the second attempt, the umpire's played advantage from a long way behind. Thomas will run in, check side, and misses. Minor score. Bit confusing there. The umpire paid the advantage, which I thought was probably
a little bit too late, I think.
Play had gone too far. Well, players had stopped for too long, if you get my drift. The umpire called play on all the same, and Thomas blew the opportunity. Minor score. Central's 8-4, Sturt 1-1.
Dent brings the ball back in, looking for Smith, under pressure from the boundary line. He gets a touch before he goes over. 55 out from Central goals. There'll be a boundary throw in. Dent with hands on hips. He's frustrated, hasn't found the mark in the last two kick-ins. And now calls Smith back to mark Shell as the ball's thrown back in. Bishop, front of the pack, gets the tap down, but only goes as far as Gowans. He has the ball in a stranglehold with Weatherald, and there'll be a ball up just inside 50, grandstand side. The Doggies flexing their muscle this afternoon and almost lifting their back leg on Sturt at the moment. They're doing this ever so arrogantly. Slade with the ball. Whiteman taken by Steinberner, and there'll be another bounce down. Now 70 metres out, maybe 65 from Central goals, with the boundary line just metres in front of the Central umpire or the controlling umpire. There'll be a ball up.
Got to agree with your call at quarter time. Throw Squire onto the ball. Give him a chance to get inject himself. Put his body in. Hit a couple, lay a couple of tackles, try and get some in-close footy. Still playing off half forward, and Paul Thomas, as we said, doing a good job keeping the dual Magarey medalist quiet. Umpire throws the footy up, comes away with another Magarey medalist in Weatherald. His kick around the corner, looking for Nelson, but Healy's in front. Can't quite get clean possession though. Spills out the way of Riley. He tries to release Cooper. Cooper goes in on hands and knees to pick up the loose footy. Can't do so. Players stack in on top of him. We're 70 metres out from Central's goal, and the umpire whistles it up for another ball up. Working hard, but no real effect for Sturt in this second term. They are working harder. They are in and at it. If anything, they've stopped Central's free scoring, but they aren't getting their own on the board. Comes away with Bello from a clever tap by Cowan. He kicks inside forward 50. Dent going back, tries to soccer it through for an own goal. Can't do so. Sansbury has a chance. Snap over the shoulder. That's special. Oh, just a little bit of magic from Eddie's hands. Bring another goal for Central. They can do no wrong. Goal number 9. Central's 9-4. Sturt 1-1. This is 5DN footy.
Get at Galligan's Mattress Factory direct to you.
It's on now. Galligan's cost price bed clearance sale. Not 10%, not 20%, not 30% off, but cost price on all sizes of discontinued timber and metal beds. They've got to be sold at genuine cost prices. If you need a quality bed, don't miss Galligan's cost price bed clearance. Only while stocks last and only at Galligan's.
Say goodnight, Galligan's.
Good night, Galligan.
26 McGill Road, Norwood.
Around the ground, thanks to Best Friend Magnetic Pain Relief Products, the original and the best at Richmond Oval. It's Port 5-2-32. Westies coming back 3-7-25. At Norwood, Glenelg 5-7-37 leading the Redlegs 3-3-21. The other game at Woodville, North Adelaide having a dib. They're 5-2-32, still trailing the Eagles 6-5-41 at the MCG in AFL footy. Melbourne back in front 8-7-55 into the third term over Essendon's 8-6-54. And at three-quarter time at Canberra, Kangaroos 11-6-72, leading Geelong 10-8-68.
Luke Cowans, and there will be a throw-in. 75 metres out from Sturt's goal. Still trying to find a spark for the Double Blues, and Nothing's doing. Thomas has gone to Weatherall now, so Squire perhaps has gone into the midfield as Poppy called. Ball thrown it in. Bishop doing the ruck work. Can't get a big fist on it. Players wrapped up in the tackle. The umpire comes in for another bounce. Still that 70 metres out from Sturt's goal. Throws it up, in fact. 3 players up. Hopwood comes over the top. Chance now for Nelson. Hasn't had a busy afternoon. Kicks it up and under one. Nothing pretty. Getting back there, Thomas again. Oh, great courage and great skills to take the mark, and then plays on. Switches play, looking for Sutala. He goes to the faster pass, the scoreboard side. 3-on-1. Sutala good enough to come up with it. Harada's that confident in him. He's just run away from his man into the middle of the ground, taking the mark, and now goes searching for Cotter. Bellows at the back. Clever enough to pop a hand pass over to Steinburn. A goal coming up for Centrals, and they're 100 metres out. Shells on the lead. Free kick played, not that time. Loose ball at the back for the X-Man Campbell. And he's good enough to mop up. He finds Curtis. Curtis's hand pass a bit in hope towards Graham. They're fluffing around with it here, Sturt. They come away with it now, this time through Curtis to Steady. And finding some space on the outer side is Squire. He's having to work into half back to get his touches now. Shares it with Sheedy. Running for him, Graham through the middle. What can Sturt create now?
Not much. Ball dispossessed. Nice work. Central turnover. Gowans finds Bello on the break. 70 out. Long kick. Stansbury from the back. Curtis in the front takes the mark. The kick was poor and need to be in front. Curtis took it. Back half. Plays on quickly. Off they go. Desperate to go forward, but breaking down around about here, just short of the centre wing. Harada over the top, got the hands to it. Mark wasn't played. Healy fights hard, turns and gives, and Gowans now under pressure, tackled by 2, doesn't give it up. There'll be a bounce down, just short of left half forward for Central, and they lead by 51 points. 10.5 minutes gone, second quarter. They are 9-4-58. The home side, Sturt 1-1-7.
The system just looks better this afternoon, Central District. They really are putting in a polished display. We looked at the ladder before the start of this game, and of course Westie sit out on top. Central's in second place, Sturt in third place on the ladder. But with Sturt beating Westie's last week and Central's now doing this to Sturt, you think Central's might be running into some good form as we approach finals. Ball thrown in, centering out aside, comes the way of Healy. Quick kick around the corner, good mark taken in defence by Whiteman. He has it at half back, out aside for the Double Blues. Kicks it long, in hope. No big marker there for the Double Blues. Instead fisted away by the Central's defence. Out of bounds, centering out aside once more for another boundary throw-in. Central's 9-4-58. Leads Sturt 1-1-7 on the faster pass the scoreboard. Andrew Beveridge, the only goal scorer for the Double Blues. Ball thrown in at the back. Bishop wrestling with his opponent. Neither can get a decisive tap. Players in on top of the footy once more. The umpire comes in to restart play. A bit of a lull gone over the game in the last couple of minutes. Other side getting distinctive possession of the ball. Comes the way of Nelson. He needs to inject himself a bit more in this game. He gets a hand pass back and provides some run from Curtis. Curtis's kick not a good one. The Sturt player slipped over as it was. Good defensive pressure though. Central's managed a quick hand pass out and a quick kick forward to find Curtis. He plays on quickly. Whiteman runs for him. The ball's got to sit. It does. He gathers it. He's got a runner on the outside. It's Graham. He decides to go inboard to Nelson and use him. Nelson getting a couple of touches in the last few minutes. Kick up and under inside forward 50. Good defensive mark taken back there. Trying to pick who it was. It might have been Steinburner. Is it Cotter or Steinburner? Cotter's up here at half forward. It's Steinburner it is. Yeah, Graham it is, I should say. 38. Quinton Graham. Good defensive mark.
He's indeed. Scholar gets on the end of it now and handballs off to Healy from left half-back flank. He'll kick it 60 plus, threaten the 50, and he does that. Howman and Cowan, good tussle that one. Squire touches the ball one of the few times this afternoon, but finds Whiteman, who gives off, and off they go. Campbell in trouble, gets around, he's going to run into trouble now. Bang, turnover. Good smother. Chris Gowan's got one high from his own teammate. There will be a free kick holding the ball. It will go Sturt way. From right half-back flank, the Double Blues try again, but there's just no movement up forward. White provides something, and at least it will go to him. Can't take the ball, though. White gets a second chance from ground level, feeds it off. Riley needs to find a man, and does. Weatherald on the lead, or is it
Beveridge?
Beveridge again. Well, I've called Beveridge Squire. I've called him Sheedy. I've had to go at Weatherald. I've called him everything except his right name, Beveridge. He's got the ball. 35 out. Next, I'll be calling Shane Harris.
I'm calling Wingard if you like. He's going all right. He's their only winner up forward, really, Andrew Beveridge, this afternoon. About a 30-degree angle, and as you said, kicking from 45 metres out. You wouldn't want to say Sturt need this because that would be probably the biggest understatement of the afternoon.
Gee, that's a poor kick.
That's a 9-iron shot for goal. He's come up about 3 paces, and it's gone further high than it has long, and through for a minor score. And that's a worry when, as we said, he has been their biggest winner inside 50 this afternoon. Central's to bring the footy back in. Sturt 1-2. Central's 9-4 on the faster past the scoreboard. I don't want to bring this up, fellas, but Angela mentioned last week that Unley was probably the worst place you could go to watch footy, and she felt the worst place to play footy as well. And perhaps the little ground did really help the Double Blues last week, because they're struggling here on the big, vast spaces of NAP Oval. The Bulldogs aren't, though. It's gone from full-back to Eddie Sainsbury on the half-forward flank. His kick looked like Beveridge's, and up and under, inside forward 50. Whiten back there, 2 grabs at it, takes a good defensive mark. I'm sure Angela will let us know in our talkback hour, thanks to the Wakefield Hotel, between 5 and 6. 8305 1323 is the number to call, where we talk about all SANFL games. Again, between 5 and 6. Struggling on the big NAP Oval, as we said, the Double Blues side, but they've got a free kick there, a bit fortuitous, but the ball goes the way of Conway at centre half back. Holding up play, not many options going for him. A couple of lopers go past him. I won't call them runners because they're not really going with any speed. Up towards centre half forward, Chambers flies, brings it front and square. Waiting down there, Whiteman, his kick also an up and under. At the front, Hereda gets it fisted away from him. Chance now for Sheedy, runs into Bello, hand passes over the top, Whiteman's there again. Back to Nelson, back to Sheedy. They're fluffing around with it, Sturt. What can they set up? Sheedy's pass, spears it out wide. Mark taken. Who's
Riley
that, Bobby?
has to go. That's Beveridge now.
Beveridge has got it. He pops the pass over the top. Weatherall's run on and taken a good mark. Tight angle, but he's much closer to goal. He's probably only 20 metres out, but it is about an 80-degree angle, you'd think. So tough kick for the McGarry medalist, Timmy Weatherall. Tight angle, he's in the right forward pocket, so not favouring the right footer either. Let's see what he does. Scholar's just zoning off him a bit to prevent him running around. 15 and a half minutes gone in this second term. He's holding it for the check side, I think. Let's see how his skills are. Comes in now, Weatherall does lay back on the check side. Looks all right off the boot. I think he likes it. He's put through Sturt's second goal. He has. Clever kick, Timmy Weatherall. As we said, they needed that, the Double Blues. They're second of the afternoon. They're 2-2. Central's 9-4 on the faster past the scoreboard. This is 5DN footy.
If you've suffered personal injury, you've probably already lost a lot. If you don't know where to go from here, write down this number, 8212-3566. It's the number of Paleos, Megan and Nicholson, personal injury lawyers. At Paleos, Megan and Nicholson, they've been getting maximum compensation for injured South Australians for over 22 years. With 22 years of knowledge and experience, you'll know you're in good hands. Paleos, Megan and Nicholson, maximum compensation.
Round the ground, thanks to Best Friend Magnetic Pain Relief Products, the original and the best. At Woodville, it's Eagle, 7.5.47 over North Adelaide, 6.3.39. At Richmond, it's All Port, 7.5.47, leading the Bloods, 3.8.26. 20-point lead to Glenelg at Norwood, 6.7.43 over Norwood's 3.5.23. At the Manica Oval in Canberra, it's Kangaroos, 12.8.80 over Geelong, 10.8.68 into the final term. And at the MCG, it is Essendon, 8.7.57 over Melbourne, 8.7.57 apiece.
Back here at the Nap Oval, Hereda takes the mark in the back half just as Sturt were mounting a forward attack. Steinburner on the end of the Hereda kick. He in turn finds Hopwood. And from centre wing, Hopwood threatens the 50 to Gowan. Can't take the mark, Cowan. Slade comes in. Whiteman just breaks them off and off they go. Campbell gives. Towards Cooper. Centre wing takes the mark. Tucked away with a boundary just metres to his left. Matty Cooper. With Sturt still 7 goals plus down. His kick was poor. He'll find a doggy's opponent who plays on, I would have thought. Yes, for sure. Caught with the ball. Has to be dropping it. Plays on, made no attempt, ran 5 yards.
Yeah, had to be holding the ball. Holding the ball, dropping the ball, call it what you will, but
just because he doesn't hear the whistle, surely that doesn't count for anything.
No, interesting.
Anyway, ball thrown up, left half forward, commentator Corey Wingard.
Doing the ruck work there for the Double Blues was White, comes away of Riley. White goes back in again, flicked the hand pass out, but it's straight to his opposition in Hopwood. Hopwood to Bello. We'll check his stats in a minute with John Nankville. He has a bounce on a left-footed kick inside forward 50. Need a mark here, Central's nothing doing. At the front there, Howman doing well to bring the ball to ground level. The Sturt player wrapped up in the tackle by Colzer is picking himself up now, and that's Graham, and the umpire said, you never had a chance, I'll come in and bounce it once more. We're 55 out from the Central District goal. The umpire throws the ball in the air. Conway doing the ruck work up against Brooks, gives away a few centimetres there, Brooks. Comes to ground level, chance for James Gowan, left boot. He's pretty good at these. A snap towards goal, just across the face. I thought Chris Gowans was a chance, he missed it. I thought James Gowans was a chance, he's missed as well. Everyone's having a good day for Centrals, except the two Gowans boys, I'd suggest.
Matty Smith with the ball from full back for the Double Blues, whereas Dent was bringing it in before. It'll be Matthew Smith. He'll have to come grandstand side, but that's where the only place there's some Sturt numbers. Looks for Conway as the tall target with the other 3 or 4 players for Sturt at the front of the pack. Conway gets nowhere near the ball, but Sturt get the second touch. And Riley will be on the end of it. Takes it just short of half back flank. Not a lot of real good options though ahead of him as Central work back quickly. Goes short, Weatherald takes it. He'll play on, he normally does. Gets around 1, he may go around 2. Does. Cotter was too busy telling everyone else where to go and wasn't looking at the play of the ball. Gowans has taken high, yet free kick paid, and he wants it, and he'll get it too.
Big Stephen White having an off day for the Double Blues there. Just tackle slipped a bit high on the Gowans kitty, and he gave away the free kick. Player slipping a little bit, it's a bit wet underfoot, comes the way of a raider for Central District. He goes towards centre half forward. Brooks, the player he's looking for, fisted away from him. Riley roves it well, front and square, plays on.
For goodness sake.
Has to get the kick in, inside forward 50, does. Should have been shepherded as Poppy called. White, I've said he's having a dirty day. He's finally taken a mark on the arc of 50. Go back and kick the goal, big fella. He's got a monstrous kick, we know that. He just pokes it towards the goal square as it got the carry, not quite falls in the square. Could have gone back and had a big swing at it with his monstrous leg. Kick from Central District, could come unstuck inside forward 50, 20 out from goal. They raffle at the Central's players eventually. After a comedy of errors, Osterheide comes up with it and he switches play to the outer side. And they can make mistakes, Central District, and they still win the footy. Player now bounces, fumbles, gathers again. It's Tyson Hay. He puts it inside forward 50 for the Bulldogs this time. Punched away, Cotter waiting down. Marco Bellows, been electric, snap to the vacant goal square. How's it going to bounce? Watch it go once, twice, rolls towards goal. Shell closes back. He gets there and makes a sure thing of something that was a little bit doubtful. Shell puts another one on the board for Central. It's goal number 10 now. They're doing it just too easily, Central District. 10-5 they are. Sturt 2-2 on the faster pass to scoreboard. This is 5DN footy.
The 5DN getaway of the month for July is the Riverscape package. A night of luxury at the Balcony Guest House Murray Bridge. Award-winning bed and breakfast accommodation with 4-poster bed and ensuite. Dinner on the banks of the Murray River at the Riverscape restaurant. Relaxing river cruise, admission to Monarto Zoo and a complimentary bottle of wine. All for just $99 per person. Only 45 minutes from Adelaide, the Riverscape package is the perfect getaway for winter. The 5DN getaway of the month, the Riverscape package. Phone 8531 0855. 8531 0855.
Out of the middle here at the NAP Oval, Squire kicks it forward for Central, for Sturt, I should say. Goes back in and gets it once more. Here's a chance for the Double Blues. What can they set up? No forward can win the footy. It's fisted away by the Bulldogs. Comes away as Steinburner. Grubbers one towards the boundary line. Would have been out of bounds deliberately in the AFL, but here in the local comp, thankfully, it's just a boundary throw-in.
Stuart Graham is being conned out here by Calder, who's just saying he doesn't like the close checking by Graham. And Graham said, oh, fair enough, I'll give you a bit more room. Anyway,
nice break for the Double Blues.
Happened. Steinburner with the ball, goes to that contest. Out the back it goes now. Whiteman ducks the head. He's taken head and all. Umpire was blindsided. It'll be a bounce down 60 metres out. So, the bottom of that pack was Brooks, I think, who gets up and hands Whiteman's head to the umpire and realises he's a mistake and then swaps it. The umpire throws the ball up now. Right half forward flank. Whiteman comes in to try to get Slade and do this. Gets the ball. Slade, free kick. Too high. 60 out, grandstand side. Kick to the lead of Shell, who's got the run on the ball, but out the back it goes. And Wicks, who at least has been serviceable today, has the ball. He's got to back himself in as Officer tries to close him down. He'll draw him. Give over the top to Hellman in the 1-2. Wicks with a bit more room to move now. From well short of half-back, kicks towards the outer side wing. Can he find a man? He can. Squire it was. Handballed off quickly to Weatherald. Kicks to centre half forward. Nelson needs to take the ball and does. Stood tall in between a couple of Central District defenders and it will kick from 60 metres out. Chambers provides the lead. I'm not sure that he's touched it much this afternoon. Now it's White that provides the target, gets the mark. That's it, the movement. Don't waste it, don't panic. And White, just underneath the faster scoreboard with his side trailing by 8.5 goals, will kick for his first of the afternoon. Central 10-5-65, Sturt 2-2-14.
Check a couple of stats with Big John Chambers. What were his stats, Big John?
Chambers has had 1 kick and 1 handball.
Cooper?
Matty Cooper, he's had 6 kicks and 3 handballs, 3 touches this second term.
A few players in the midfield. We'll check some more stats with Big John Nankerville shortly. Got to get more involved, I think, Poppy.
Stephen White from 45, maybe. Tight angle, off the boot, hits the post. There you go. How do you like that, Sturt? Just when you think it couldn't get any worse. 2-3-15. Central 10-5-65.
Clun, what are his stats, Big John?
Adam Clun has yet to touch the footy. Actually spent a lot of time on the bench.
Squire?
Squire has had 3 kicks and 3 handballs, coming to a bit in this second term.
And they're probably not up to his usual standards, though. Sturt had the footy centre wing. They're working hard. Wick's probably their better player. We've said that a few times. Get the hand pass across to a runner who's put under immediate pressure. Central's just always there applying the pressure. Some headgear out there as well. Someone cut open for the Central District side. We'll keep an eye on that.
Chrissy Gowans, he came off a little bit earlier and then he came back on a short time ago with his head all bandaged up.
Oh, he likes it like that. He reckons the more scars, the better looking he gets, but I'm not so sure about that. Ball, half-forward flank to the Double Blues, outer side of the NAP Oval. We've played 25 minutes of this second term. Central's doing it comfortably, 10-5-65, leading Sturt 2-3-15 on the faster scoreboard. The Blues making some inroads here. They've got some numbers. They share it around, almost a bit too much. A few hand passes in close. Quick kick in the end, comes unstuck. And Central's come away with it. Hopwood, he's been very busy for them this afternoon. Another kick, comes grandstand side, looking for Steinburner. Takes the mark, held up by Riley. Cleverly done, just holds him on, but his Sturt players haven't run on for him. Central's have kept running. As the siren sounds for half-time, looking for a quick kick there was Matthew Craig, who's just come onto the ground before half-time. Couldn't do so, but it doesn't matter because his side are doing it comfortably on the faster scoreboard. Repeating a half-time score here from the NAP Oval. Central's 10-5-65, leads Sturt 2-3-15. The Blues not putting in one of their better efforts this afternoon, Poppy.
No, you're not wrong. One of their poorest efforts since the early part of the season. We thought they turned it around with a great win last week over West Adelaide, who had previously strung 11 wins together, but they're struggling today.
9-6 apiece in that game.
All right, 5 the ends match of the day. Both teams going out to their respective positions to commence the third quarter of 5 the ends match of the day.
I must correct myself. The Eagles North Adelaide game, that's actually at Woodville. I apologise.
Okay. The game here, just about ready to get underway. Central 10-5-65, Sturt 2-3-15. I'll have a look at some changes in matchups while Corey Wingard starts the commentary for the third quarter. Interestingly, Heath Hopwood in the centre of the square.
He's been good for Central so far today. Just check his stats with Big John in a few moments' time. But we're set to go in this third term, and Sturt need to find something. They need to get some winners. Scholar to do the ruck work for the Bulldogs, and he's been pretty good for them as well. The umpire taking his time. The bouncing hasn't been outstanding this afternoon, not one of the better ones. It favours Conway, gets the tap down. James Gowans applies the tackle. The umpire comes in, blows his whistle, says, fellas, I'll have it. We'll do it all over again. Have made but a metre from the centre circle. The umpire's going to bounce it to restart play. In fact, I think he's going to throw it up, which is a good option. Throws it in the air now. Big fellas jostle for position. Scholar gets the tap down. Central's have some numbers. Hopwood, quick left-footed kick around the corner. Only as far as Whiteman. He hasn't been Sturt's worst player this afternoon, but you're kidding, he's been pinged for holding the ball. Well, I thought the umpire must have said he didn't get a hand pass out, and I thought that was probably a bit harsh. The free kick going the way of James Gowans, right in the middle of the NAP Oval.
So Gowans to go to the right side. He'll just threaten the arc of 50. Cowan from the front, couldn't take the mark at the back. Well read, Riley. Started to come into the game in the second quarter, releases it to Curtis. His left foot's got to run a Weatherall with a little bit of room to move, but needs to find a target. Goes in the direction of White, who made good ground. Took the mark, will he play on? No, attempts to, then arcs back, turns back on the left, goes short towards Sheedy, who's also made good ground in front of James Gowans. So the left half forward now, Sturt, and just running along the boundary line. Weatherall draws Steinburner, gives to White. Now White can kick this to the teeth of the square, or can go short to Chambers and chooses the latter. Chambers, one of the few touches in just over half a game of footy from just on the arc of 50 on the outer side of Nap Oval, with Sturt kicking to the southern end. No real breeze to speak of. And they're trailing by 8 goals. Chambers just puts it in the danger zone. White, too easy. Oh, it dropped when he should have taken, pushed in the back. Well, that would have been embarrassing. Well, it was anyway. White dropped a absolute sitter, but he was pushed in the back. I think the guy behind him for Central District got the giggles and just tripped over. And White will take the kick. 20 metres out directly in front. And they need this one desperately, Wiz.
Their high position style of footy, Sturt, they worked the ball right around the boundary line from defence into their forward 50. They eventually got it to White. He's got the free kick directly in front, and he should put it through. Will be Sturt's third of the afternoon. But, Big John, that high position style of footy keeps you busy, I know. But
it does, yeah.
Probably not over-efficient, you wouldn't think. White from directly in front with the left boot. Gee, if he's got it, he's just scraped it in. I think he's missed. He has. Big John's caught it. Minor score. Costly missed that. Did not need that, the double blues. There's still just the 2 goals. 2-4. Central's 10-5. Again, I heard the Sturt fans at half-time, Big John. They were shaking their heads. They were not the side they saw play last weekend, that's for sure and certain. Central's bring the footy back in. They get it to the skipper and Healy. Races through half-back. Kick up towards half-forward. Good fly from behind by Whiteman. Couldn't take control. Slade good at ground level. Releases a hand pass. Can't find a target running past. Players diving on top of the footy. The umpire takes his time to whistle it up. Tries to let the ball come out. Eventually finds a free kick. Well, goodness me. He let that go a long time. Found a Central District free kick. They're away and running again. This time Healy swings onto his left boot. The arc of 50. Big fly from Wicks. Got right up high. Couldn't hold it though. Chance for Sainsbury. Draws the player across to Sutala. He'll run in and kick the goal. As easy as you like. Half the number of possessions. But 6-time better result on the scoreboard. A major for Central District. They're 11th. 11-5. They lead Sturt 2-4 on the faster scoreboard. This is 5DN footy.
Hi, Jeremy Cordeaux. Could your investments use a lift? Are you tired of paying fees and still receiving low returns? Well, I urge you to call Angus Securities. Angus Securities have fixed interest investments offering rates up to 7.5% per annum, fully secured, with no fees and interest paid quarterly. You can obtain this interest rate with an investment from as little as $10,000. Call Angus Securities today on 8271 4343. Monday to Friday. Angus Securities, the fixed interest specialists, 8271 4343.
Back at the NAP Oval, ball comes out of the middle. Clun lays a good tackle. Wicks dives in on top of the footy. Chris Gowan's on top of him, centre wing, grandstand side. And the umpire says, fellas, I'll bounce it once more, see if we can't make something happen here. Good bounce that time by the umpire. Conway doing the ruck work against Scholar. Scholar gets the tap. Hopwood couldn't get a handle on the footy. Nelson tries to butt his way through. Goes in bottom first. Stands in the tackle. 2 actually wrap him up in the end. And the umpire whistles it up to restart play with one more bounce. Faster past the scoreboard. Central's 11-5. Sturt 2-4. 71 plays 16. Tap out there by Conway. Out the back. Healy lurking. The skipper for the Bulldogs shares it with Thomas. Clever quick hands across to Hay. His left foot kick. Searches for the boundary line and should find it as it runs end over end and bounces in to the Central District dugout. Just around from the grandstand here, the 5DN commentary box. At the NAP Oval, we've played almost 5 minutes of this third term.
Well, I've got some concerning news. I'll let you know about it in just a moment regarding a high-profile SANFL and AFL player. Ball kicked around the corner, top of the 50, starting to attack. Hay, the stumbling block for the doggies, and off he goes. Runs straight down the corridor. Hopwood, the 1-2, gives it back and Shepherd. Well done, Hopwood. Well done, Hay. Hay to Shell. Shell front position, takes the mark of the chest. Nice passage of play, 40 metres out.
Great pass there. Great running there from the defence of the Bulldogs. We mentioned them early in this game, and they've been outstanding all afternoon. A well-drilled unit. Hay running with Hopwood. His pass to Shell 2 left Matthew Smith with no option because it was the fat side, as Dermot Brereton likes to say, for Shell, and he just ran onto it, took the chest mark directly in front. I penciled Shell down for one in the first term when I said he put it straight through, and he's in almost identical spot, and I think he'll do it again. This will be his third of the afternoon if he kicks it. Leans back on it a bit. The goal umpire leans his hat back as well. 3 goals for Daniel Shell. He's done a good job presenting himself well. It was a great pass from Tyson Hay. You're listening to Footy on 5DN.
Junction Market's got it all. Junction Market's got it all.
Get into Junction Markets this weekend for the huge 25% off sale. 25% off statues, 25% off giftware and kitchenware, 25% off plasticware, fry pans and saucepans, and get 25% off all Manchester. Heaps of great bargains. Thursday through to Sunday at Junction Markets, Corner Prospect and Grand Junction Roads.
Junction Market's got it all.
Back here at the Nap Oval, ball thrown down, and Conway gets the first touch inside 50. Harada, nice mark under pressure, defensive 50. Gets up, plays on, good work. Grandstand side, the doggies come. Chris Gowns takes the ball. Left foot, grandstand side, tries to thread it through to Swatala. Nice work by Sheedy, got the ball, Swatala rides him, and into the ground he goes, does Sheedy. Then he fights hard, Swatala, second effort, brilliant. Gains 15 metres and finds the boundary line. Good work, crowd happy. Good play all round. The doggies 12-5, Sturt 2-4.
Interchange for the Double Blues, Big John.
Ben Nelson coming off, hasn't had a great day so far. Matthew Dent coming back onto the ground, just checking Ben Nelson's stats. 4 kicks, 4 handballs.
Ball thrown in, Conway doing the ruck work against Scholar. Neither get the decisive catch, comes out the back door. Bello there again, quick kick off the side of the boot. Was it touched? No, out of bounds on the full. Free kick for the Double Blues going the way of Whiteman. Whiteman has it. Comes along the boundary line looking for Squire. Caught at the back, couldn't take the mark. Hopwood goes searching for Squire's body, doesn't find him. Good tackle laid by Clun on Thomas. Thomas couldn't release the footy. The umpire says he had no chance. Bounce right in front of the 5-in commentary box here at the NAP Oval. Faster past the scoreboard. Central's 12-5-77. Leads Sturt 2-4-16. Poppy, wait till 3/4 time for this interesting news you have for us.
Yeah, I do that. Just think about how I'm going to break it.
The bat phone ringing. We'll stand by for that.
Conway with the ball, held without it, thrown to the ground. Ball spills over the boundary line. Throw in front of our 5-in commentary position. Hopwood upsets Conway. So Conway will do the ruck work from the boundary through in against Scholar. Scholar gets to the front. That'll make it hard for Conway. Neither player got to the ball. Wicks tried to steal it. Sheedy does the same. Gives it off to Whiteman. Taken high. Sheedy threads it through. Nice play in the end as Riley kicks the ball 45 metres. But only finds Healy. Healy will change direction because Steinburn has found a bit of room himself off the half-back line. Will want to play on and does. Good work. Off they go to Oofterhide from half-back to half-forward. First player there may well be Brooks. Beaten to it in the end. Good work. Around the body he goes. Howman, first touch, needs to get a favourable bounce and does. Finds himself under pressure. Now Smith. Well, he goes for the touch because it was all too much, the pressure. So 30 metres out from central goals on the far side of the ground with the doggies kicking to the northern end and leading by 10 goals 1.
More good signs for Central District there. Inside their forward 50. Their forwards working hard defensively. 2-on-2 contest. Central's forced the footy. Get the footy in the enforced over the boundary line. Sturt couldn't win it away. Ball thrown in, again inside that forward 50 for the Bulldogs. Sturt come away with it this time through Cooper, who needs to inject himself more in this second half. He's done a couple of good things, but not consistently enough. Gets it towards White on centre wing. He has players running on for him, but his kick is a shocker. It carries the distance, probably 40, 45 metres, but it's out of bounds on the full, and Tyson Hay will take the resultant free kick. Comes in short, finds Scholar. The big fella straightens up play, looking for Harada. Has he hit the target? Not quite. Here's a chance for Sturt if they can get the footy out of here. Squire lays the tackle. Harada holds it up cleverly and forces a ball up 60 metres out from Central's goal. He had no support there. Harada had no help, so he knew that if he stood in the tackle, he could force this ball up, and Central's players have been able to flood back now and give him a hand. Umpire puts it in the air. Hopwood comes over the top, fists it clear, only in the Squire direction. He swings round. Lead out from Beveridge. What can he do? Beveridge gets his hands in the air, punched away by Graham. He's done well. Ball at ground level. Another chance now for Dent. His kick smothered as he goes to kick it forward. Harada's there to chop it off, and he relieves the pressure. And Sturt just don't look menacing when they go inside their forward 50. Beveridge has been the only half winning forward for them this afternoon. He's kicked just the one goal though. Should have kicked probably a couple. And Central's keep possession of it. They go short to Scholar. His kick turned over though. Chance for the Double Blues. Let's watch this and see what they can do. Riley spears a pass in. Chambers is on the lead. At the back, Beveridge closes in on the foot. He has to take it first gather. Tries to get around. Hopwood not the type of bloke to do that too. Gives it across the Squire. His kick around the corner. No good. Minor score. Nothing going right for the Double Blues.
Absolutely terrible at the moment, aren't they? Central 12-5. Sturt 2 goals 5. Difference 10 goals. Push in the back, yeah, too obvious unfortunately. You have to wear that one, Quentin Graham.
Was it a push in the back, or did Weatherall just milk it nicely, bump into Graham and fall over?
Probably, but Graham's not arguing too much. And Weatherall will take the kick. He'll kick from just inside 50. That'll test him, you'd think. Not renowned for his long kicking.
30-degree angle, so not that much of an angle, but it will take a pretty big kick from here. Kicking into the, well,
I'd say the eye of the storm.
The bay let his windsock has dropped a little bit. It's now worth 2 points.
It's not actually moving.
Weatherald
dropped a lot.
Weatherald will kick from just inside 50. Kicking to the southern end. Gee, nice leg off the boot. Gee, he can kick a mile, can't he?
Oh, he's a
nice
good
leg
kick.
too. Weatherald
gets
gets
a strong breeze.
Second of the afternoon. Nice work. Sturt needed that one. I tell you what, they need another 8 of them too. Sturt 3-5. That's a total of 23. Central 12-5-77. Weatherald has his second of the afternoon. You're listening to Footy on 5 the End.
Hi, this is Melinda Schneider. Native trees are vital for Australia's land and wildlife. That's why Sunday, July 27th is so important. It's National Tree Day, organised by Toyota and Planet Ark. Call 1300 88 5000 to find out how you can get involved. Get your school or community group to organise a tree planting site in your area, and by planting together, we can grow a better future for Australia. Oh, what a feeling! It's Tree Day.
Around the grounds, thanks to Best Friend Magnetic Pain Relief Products, the original and the best at Richmond Oval. It's Port, 8-7-55, leading West, 5-12-42. Glenelg leading at the Norwood Oval, 9-7-61 to Norwood, 6-6-42. Eagles, 10-6-66, are in front of North Adelaide after being tied up at half-time, 9-7-61. And it's a 6-point lead to Essendon at the MCG, 11-10-76 over Melbourne, 10-10-70.
Back at the NAP Oval, Centrals get it inside their forward 50 once more. Sturt frenetic, trying to get the ball out. Working hard in there, Campbell. Also, Whiteman spears a hand pass towards Clun. Here are some numbers and some run for the Double Blues. Get it across to Graham. He's caught, though. Defensive pressure, superb from the Bulldogs. And it's Tyson A who forces the error, holding the ball. Free kick going the Bulldogs' way. Hopwood, he's been outstanding this afternoon. Inside forward 50, Shell tries to fly against 3. Brings it front and square. Kick around the corner. How's it going to bounce? Not quite. Out of bounds in the end. A big chance there. Shell's worked hard and presented himself well as a forward. He's been that dangerous. He needs a couple to go against him now. And he did well on that occasion to bring it front and square. But the opportunity just missed by Sainsbury in the end. And in fact, the ball in the end out of bounds. We'll have a throw in 5 metres around from the Bulldogs' goal, northern end of NAP Oval. Quick interchange, check that with Big John Nankerville shortly. Ball thrown in, neither ruckman gets a tap to it. Comes to ground level, Clun does well. Shares it with Campbell. He comes grandstand side, looking for Wicks. He's got a couple to beat, fisted away from him. Cleverly done in the end. And the ball's out of bounds. We'll have a throw in. Half forward flank for the Bulldogs, grandstand side.
This is Matty Slade coming off the break, for a break, a well-earned rest. 22 touches so far for Matthew Slade. I believe that was Matthew Krieg who came on to replace him.
Yep, good call, Big John. Ball to be thrown in. Scholar to do the ruck work up against Bishop, who's come on in this term to give them something. Bishop gets to the front, taps it down only as far as Chris Gowns. He can't do much with it. Shares it with his brother James. James Gowns comes to Krieg. Quick kick around the corner. Can't really find a target. Brooks is in there, so too Sainsbury. Sockers it forward for Chris Gowns. Here's a chance. Can't quite gather it. Hellman comes in with some pressure, paddles it towards the line, and he's happy to see it go over in the end, and we'll have a throw in about 20 metres around from Bulldogs' goal. Almost 15 minutes gone in this third term. Central's 12-5, keeping Sturt at bay 3-5 on the faster scoreboard.
Central looking to extend on that lead of 54 points. Cowan to do the ruck work against Bishop. Cowan gets the tap, finds Chris Gowns, busts his way through the pack, unleashes the handball, kick around the body only as far as the Blues, and off they go through Campbell towards the outer side. The kick to space. White reads it beautifully and backs himself in, draws the player over the top. The most promising forward move of the game for the Double Blues. Dent inside 50, marks. He'll give to Squire, and does. Squire usually deadly in this position from 40. Kick off the boot. Beautiful play. Double Blues. Hats off to you. From full back to full forward. Beautifully executed in the end by Squire. Sturt now 4-5. That's a total of 29. Central 12-5, 77. Footy on 5 the end.
The Australian Rail Travel Centre invites you aboard the legendary Ghan on one of the world's greatest train journeys between Adelaide and Darwin. Packages include rail travel on the Ghan, air travel, accommodation and touring to Alice Springs, Uluru, Kings Canyon, Katherine, Darwin and Kakadu National Park. Packages start from just $1,650. Call Australian Rail Travel Centre for your free brochure on 8231 4366. The Northern Territory. It'll never leave you.
In the middle of NAP Oval, plenty of players around, working hard. Steinburner been good for the Bulldogs this afternoon. Gets it across to Krieg. He shares it back to Hopwood. He'd be almost, along with Marco Bello, Central's best. Inside forward 50, good defensive mark taken. Working hard back there is Hellman, and he shares it and they get it towards centre wing. Set a task for Wicks. He has to fly up against that man Hopwood again. Wins out though, kicks it off the ground, only as far as Krieg. Some fresh legs on the ground. He goes in board. There's Hopwood bobbing up once more. Shares it with Healy, forced to kick on his right boot. That means he's definitely under pressure. Only as far as Bishop, who takes a good defensive mark.
His second right foot kick of the season for Daniel Healy.
In career.
Yeah, probably. Bishop, centre half back through. Left foot goes towards White, who's starting to come into it. At least he's providing a target and he's moving. That's two good signs. This time he's beaten to it, 2-on-1 contest. Gee, I tell you what, he works pretty hard now. It's 3-on-1 and he's still having a dip and he may get to it, or will he? No, he won't. Good effort though, kick off the boot smothered. The doggy still trying to move it forward and it finds itself out of play, so that's a win for Sturt.
White, the big man, going for the contest. He had 2-on-1, that's fair enough. Wheel was someone front and square for the big fella. And then when it came to ground, you called it beautifully. He fought very, very hard. No one came in support.
Central 12-5, Sturt 4-5. 8-goal ball game, or home side's way. Riley unleashes to Dent. Dent to kick towards the 50. Orator has to sit, might not get to it. No, got hands to it, couldn't take it. Squire held without the ball, free kick, just outside 50. So I was told at half-time that the last 4 times these two sides have played, that Thomas has done the job on Squire, and certainly he's had the better of him again today. He goes short, does Squire to White, and he'll kick on a 45-degree angle, not favouring a left footer, and he'll kick from around about 45 metres as well. Herrera on the mark.
They need this one, the big fella, just to steady them, because we know when he gets his tail up, he started to get his hand on the footy a little bit in this term, as you mentioned, Poppy, and when he gets a bit of confidence going, he can be a match winner. Not that he's... Well, that's to produce a miracle, you think, to win the match for Sturt today, but at least he can get him back in the contest.
White's kick off the boot. Looks okay, actually. He hasn't kicked one this afternoon. He may have his first. He has. Well done, Stephen White. Sturt showing some fight. Maybe a bit too late. In fact, probably a bit too late. Central 12-5, 77. Played 10.5 minutes of the third quarter. And Sturt 5-5, 35. You're listening to Footy on 5DN.
Is your superannuation investment decreasing in value? I'll say that again. Is your superannuation investment decreasing in value? Have a look at last year's statements. Did its value increase as much as you'd expected? In another month or two, you'll be getting this year's statement. Do you really want to find out it hasn't performed again? Call Bluestone Financial now and stop the rot. Take control of your super. Bluestone Financial, Halifax Street, 822-33242.
Darryl Humphries is an authorised representative of Professional Investment Services, licensed dealer in securities.
The sun makes itself known and sprays across the NAP Oval as the umpire restarts play. Sturt gather the footy off half-back. They get some run going through Wicks. He gets it across to Squire, who's starting to find a bit more of the footy. Pokes the pass out onto Weatherall, who's starting to run hard. Better signs for the Double Blues now. Weatherall trying to run around on his right boot. Gets around Tyson Hay, but I think he's milked the 25-metre penalty, yes. Hay just kept coming forward as Weatherall went to go around. I suppose he's milked the 25-metre penalty, cleverly done.
Geez, that's a big 25 then too, isn't it?
Buy real estate off this bloke, that's very generous.
Especially if you had real estate near the beach, that would be worth plenty, wouldn't it?
Tell you what, it costs a packer for a house out here at Elizabeth now these days as well.
I tell you what, speaking of out of Elizabeth, I wouldn't mind finding myself a woman from out of Elizabeth, because these cakes and sandwiches and coffee we had made for us this afternoon, first class, thanks to the Central District Ladies Auxiliary.
They are sensational. 45-degree angle, 40 metres out. Weatherall shooting for goal number 3. I reckon he might have just missed. He has. Minus score. Faster past the scoreboard. Central's 12 goals, 5-77. Leads Sturt 5-6, 36. Ball brought in by the Bulldogs. They go short. Find Herrera. Shares it with off to Hardy Hay. He goes long to centre wing. Good running. Good mark taken. Krieg out there. Made some space. He's got Steinburner going for him. And that causes him, or allows him, I should say, to run around big Stephen White of the mark. He goes forward, Krieg. Big fly, Bello at the back. One hand, not quite. Gathers at the ground level. He's wrapped up as soon as he takes possession. And the umpire comes in and whistles it up 45 metres out for the Bulldogs' goal.
Good thing about Bellows' attempt there was he landed on the feet and his second effort was instantaneous. Didn't get caught losing his feet and losing an ability to have a second attempt at a contest. Inside 50, Central kicking to the northern end of the Nap Oval, punched forward. Quick kick, Riley to space. White looks like he's running on the spot because even Herrera's passed him like he was standing still. And then he gets a Shepherd to boot from Steinbrenner. Opens the door for Herrera. Kicks to within 40. Brooks. Good contest for the doggies. Kick off the ground. Need to find touch. Sturt pushing the back. Free kick. Goes Sturt's way. I think it could be Howman back there. It is. He'll play on. Well, he should. He's got a man spare in the goal square. It's Sheedy, who can also play on. He'll go inboard. That's dangerous. They're under pressure now, and they'll need to go towards the points, and they do.
I mentioned it before, great defensive pressure from the Bulldogs forwards. That is outstanding to force the turnover there. And just sits in the back of the Double Blues' minds that they have to be right on their game. Any errors and the Bulldogs will pounce.
Squire finds Smith on the half-back line. Squire on the ball and getting plenty of touches now.
They've had 6 kicks this quarter, actually, Damien Squire, probably.
Getting more of it in this term, 6 touches in this term.
Down, flies high.
In the match before that. Ball with Conway, free kick for over the shoulder. So he's got it centre wing. Grandstand side, goes inboard. Do it with a few more numbers around the footy now.
Sorry, Corey, you go with it. I'm just looking at something else.
Just doing what they should have done right from the outset. Big fly from Graham at the back. I thought that could have been paid. The umpire said no. Comes to Clun off the outside of the boot looking for Chambers. Can he gather it in? Does. Paddles it to himself. Good tackle way off to Hardy. A free kick going the Double Blues way. You can hear from the crowd. Bulldogs aren't happy. Bit fortuitous there from Chambers, but you take them when you get them. And Chambers has got it deep in the pocket. Grandstand side, kicking to the southern end. He's on about an 87-degree angle. If Scotty Borlace was here, I'd get the protractor out and he'd let me know exactly, but that's got to be close. A tight angle, deep in the pocket, take a great kick from Chambers. Right forward pocket, and he's a right footer. Taking plenty of time. I think he's looking to offload, but there's just nothing on offer. Central's have flooded back, so he's going to have a ping at him. He's going check side, he is, and he ends up just putting it to the top of the square. No one to Sturt there, no one even competing. And the big ruckman in Scholar takes a good defensive mark. Switches play and the Bulldogs work it forward. They get it to Krieg. He's been busy since coming on the ground. He's got a runner in Kane Officer centre wing. Made good space. Disposal was good. Kane Officer should have held the mark. Didn't. Ball spills out of bounds.
Outer side of the ground, centre wing. 23.5 minutes gone. Third quarter. Central 12-6. Sturt 5-6. Margin 42 points. It was at half-time though. 50 points. They've started to work on whittling that lead down, but it'll be all too little, all too late, obviously. And the game was there to be won early. Central showed some desperation and some method in the way they played, and Sturt were just left languishing. Ball bounced down. Nice work. Healy stands up in the tackle, unleashes the handball. They can do that, Central. Don't panic under pressure. Another bounce down.
Poppy, 24 minutes gone in this third term. Sturt have started to show something.
Yeah, Squire changing with Weatherald off the half-forward flank, but just sweating off, getting a few cheap kicks, but at least he's getting a touch. Weatherald over the top now. Clun. Weatherald fights hard again. Bottom of the pack, holds it in. So they've gained 25 metres. They're still 70 from home. And they're still 7 goals down. The dying minutes of this third quarter.
All too little, all too late for the Double Blues. They should have started with a bit more aggression, and even when they have started to show something, Centrals have been good enough to soak it up pretty much. Trying to crash through there, the Double Blues trying to create something out of nothing.
It was Dent.
It was the dinger, and he's wrapped up immediately and slammed into the ground. Matty Cooper, Big John, what are his stats? He's been quiet for mine as well.
He's had 10 for the game, only 1 in this term after getting 6 in the first quarter. He's had 4 for the past 2.
He's normally the little in and under sort of player that really does spark them and get them going. Chance now comes the way of Curtis. His quick kick inside forward 50 is a stray. He's tackled as he went to kick. Again, good defensive pressure from the Bulldogs. The kick finds Swatala, and he goes in short and finds the skipper. Back pocket out of side. Healy left boot, straightens him up, looking for Herrera, puts him under some pressure. Wicks does well, taps it down to Beveridge at the front. Can he gather? Does. Has to pop the hand pass over, looking for White, but he runs straight into trouble. Stands in the tackle, eventually gets the hand pass out. He had plenty of time to get rid of it. Cooper, who we said had been quiet, left foot snap on goal, away to the left, minus score. Probably a bit lucky there. Whiteman tried to stand in the tackle and shrugged one. He got spun around, eventually got the hand pass out, and he was given all the time to do what I just mentioned. The faster pass to scoreboard, Sturt 5-7, Central's 12-6. The Bulldogs well and truly in control of this contest.
Thomas brings the ball back in. Healy reads it beautifully, back of the pack, held without the ball just as the turnover was going to happen. Nice play by the skipper. And from just short of right half back, Healy for the Doggies will bring the ball along the line, down the outer side of the ground. Target, back of the pack is Cowan, but he's 3 deep again. Takes the mark nonetheless. Don't know how he stole that one, but it was a good effort. In fact, it could even be Brooks. They go inboard now to a Raider. Centre of Nap Oval. Changes direction. Target Gowans, front of the pack, tries to use one hand. Kick off the ground by Squire. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there, but it was poor. It did find touch, though. So there'll be a boundary throw in, inside 50, grandstand side.
Just noticing Simon Arnott too, still not back in this side. Bring him back in and a couple of others, and this central side will only get stronger. A good outfit, really set to have a crack at the 2003 Premiership. Umpire throws the ball back in. Coulter forced to do the ruck work from behind. Xavier Campbell there for Sturt. So too Krieg for Centrals. He's wrapped up. The umpire whistles it up for a bounce down again. They've just been hard at the footy. They really have led the way in their attack on the ball this afternoon. Sturt have had no answers for them. Tap down in the direction of James Gowns. Wetherell goes in, tries to get it. They sweat off him. He eventually squeezes a hand pass out. Comes towards Curtis. He's dancing along the boundary line, trying to keep it in. In the end, trips over the white chalk, and the ball spills out of bounds. About where the 50-metre arc meets the boundary, northern end of the NAP Oval. Ball to be thrown back in. Sturt kicking to that northern end. Players around the footy, tapped down by Conway, only as far as Coulter. His big Woolly Wishka hand pass doesn't find anyone. Chris Gowns applies a bit of body work as the ball travels further towards goal, but out of bounds once more for another throw-in. 27 3/4 minutes gone in this third term. 78 plays 37 in favour of the Bulldogs. We'll check all the scores around the ground at three-quarter time, and Poppy will have the big breaking news for us in that break as well. Sock of the ball from the ruck contest, trying to make a couple of yards, nothing doing. The boundary umpire in that pocket getting very, very busy. He'll hope the siren sounds for three-quarter time soon, and he will enjoy his oranges when he gets to the middle. Ball thrown back in.
Oranges, have they?
Well, oranges, orange juice, orange cordial, call it what you will. Coulter a chance, left foot snap.
Oh, no.
Goes across goal looking for Shell, can't quite get there. Ball bounces towards the boundary line, and in fact, it sails out of bounds on the full. Smith to take the resultant free kick. Deep in the back pocket for the double blues. Matthew Smith had a tough day on Daniel Shell. Pretty good match up the two Crows listed players. Smith goes to the outer side, finds a teammate. Good mark taken. Whiteman it is, as the three-quarter time siren does finally sound. And you should see that boundary umpire heading to the middle, hoping he's going to get an orange. Three-quarter time here at the NAP Oval on our 5DN match of the day, thanks to the guys at Angus Securities. On faster scoreboard, Central 12-6, 78 leads Sturt 5-7-37. Goal scorers with Rob Popplestone.
Thanks for that, Wiz. Sturt have a number of goal scorers, a handful in fact. Andrew Beveridge, Stephen White and Damien Squire have one apiece. At the conclusion of the game, when we get an opportunity to make a few more phone calls, but have confirmed the information I've passed on to you right now, and we'll give you all the latest as we hear more immediately following the game.
Probably big news. Thank you very much. That we'll talk about that more at the conclusion of this contest. 8305 1323 is the phone number for our talkback hour. Thanks to the Wakefield Hotel between 5 and 6. 5DN footy right on top of that one. Rob Popplestone, as always, at the centre of footballing news. Back at the NAP Oval, start of the final term. Centrals get it out of the middle again. This time through Healy up towards Shell, who's battled hard all day. Hand pass comes out. Chance for James Gowns. Dummies around one, dummies around two. Oh, makes a goose of the third bloke. Snaps it on his left. And less than a minute into the final term, Centrals check another one. They're doing it as they like. They're doing it far too easy this afternoon. No doubt about it. James Gowns, he has a couple already today. One in the first and now one in the opening minute of the final term.
Just on the Gowans, for us, interestingly enough, they haven't had a huge dominance in this game. That was James's 11th possession of the match. Chris has had 10. They sort of come in and out of it. They've both spent time on the bench. Chris was stitched up, but it's been, just looking through the stats, the Bellows, the Slades, the Steinburners, the Healys, the Hopwoods who have dominated rather than the Gowans boys. We've just had little cameo roles here and there.
John, interesting stat, probably ominous stat too for anyone that's coming up against the Bulldogs. If those two blokes have a quiet day, you know they won't have too many quiet days in a row, that's for sure.
Ball bounce down, Cooper, quick hands, Sheedy goes searching. Can he find a teammate? He can. It's Curtis, buffs the tackle, runs with the ball, 10 metres he gathers, and then a looping chip shot-like kick. And Hopwood's underneath it for the Central District side. Just short of left half back, Hopwood with the ball, who was extremely busy early. Faded out a little bit midway through and starting to come into it again.
That was his 21st touch there, Heath Hopwood.
Hasn't faded out too much at all, Poppy. 21 touches at the start of the third term. He's been very, very busy.
Swatala now with the ball, centre of Nap Oval. The Doggies leading by 47 points, if you don't mind. Goes towards the left half forward flank. Cowan has front position. Got a hand to it, couldn't take it. Whiteman, bottom of the pack to Bishop, and off they go again through Cooper. From right half back, he kicks towards centre half forward true. White, front of the pack, good punch from behind. Nice work, Thomas underneath it, picks up the ball, tries to bust the tackle, doesn't give up the pill. That's just as important, and there'll be a bounce down. Right on centre half forward. Chambers doing a lot of running in the background, but unfortunately, most of the day, he's been running in the wrong direction, as he is now.
Only 4 touches today for Chambers, 3 kicks and the 1 handball.
4 touches, pretty ordinary. Not too bad if you've got half a dozen tackles next to your name and 3 or 4 goals, but he's got neither of those. Another bounce down to take place. Central 13-6, Sturt 5-7. 2.5 minutes gone, final quarter. All Central District. Commentator Corey Wingard.
Umpire puts the footy into the turf. Good bounce that time. Fisted forward by Hopwood again. He's been the third man up on a number of occasions this afternoon. Gets it in the direction of Steinburner. He tries to provide a shepherd. Can't do it. Wicks did well. Bottled the footy up. He's battled hard for the Double Blues today. What are his stats, Big John?
Yeah, Wicks has played very well. In fact, he's still the leading stats getter with 16 for the Blues. Weatherall just behind him there with 15.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. Scallop to do the ruck work up against Bishop. Umpire, another good bounce over the top. Comes Healy this time. They do that third man up a lot. The Central District side. Comes towards Curtis. Dances in and out of trouble. Gets it across to Cooper. He shares it with Sheedy. Sheedy's tick smothered. Now Centrals. The hand passes are a bit slicker and they don't come unstuck. Back towards Krieg. That one from James Gowns wasn't good, but Thomas is good enough to gather it inboard. Look at this, all on his own, some Chrissy Gowns. Who's meant to be after him? Who's looking after him is exactly what Brenton Phillips would be saying right now. Far too easy. 45 metres out, he's going to that vacant goal square. Hasn't got the carry. Matty Smith doubles back, looking for some extra distance. He hooks it away to the left. Minor score for the Bulldogs. 13-7 on the faster pass to scoreboard. That's 85. Leading Sturt, 5-7-37. Xavier Campbell to bring the footy back in. He goes to the outer side, looking for Bishop. In front, can't take the mark. Fisted down, Weatherall waiting. Hand passes it across to Squire. Pokes the pass along the boundary line. Dents there, ducks the head. Zinger, that looks shocking. Luckily taken high. Luckily had his head ripped off. But as the ball hit the hands, he did the turtle on the head, went into the shell. Not pretty to watch. The kick's an up and under 1-2 towards centre half forward. Sets the task for White. Caught behind. Big fist from Harada. Poppy, I'm not sure if it's just me imagining things, but Central's kicks have looked to have more penetration on them than Sturt. Sturt's have been up and under like a 9-iron, whereas Centrals are playing with a 3-iron. It's hitting them with more power and more distance. Ball to be thrown in. Half forward flank outer side.
Straight up the fairway too. Sturt has spent most of the time in the rough. Ball thrown back in. Nice work. Wicks rides his Central District opponent. Rodeo light. Play on's the call. Another bounce down. Right half forward. Sturt into attack, if you can call it that. That's about as far as they've been for most of the day. They pepper away. They've managed 5-7 in 95 minutes of football. Central 13-7-85. 5 minutes gone, final quarter. Thump forward again, and off they go. Cooper, under pressure, quick kick, doesn't gather any real yardage. Riley tries to bust the tackle. Not much chance of doing that. Not today, not against this side. They're hot today, the Doggies. Although they've added only 5 goals since quarter time, they've always looked in control. Sturt have added 4 goals in that time. 4-6 in actual fact. So it's been an even contest, or even-ish contest since quarter time, but it's all very well to make some late ground when the game's been blown out of the water. The game was there to be won. Central were the only team that wanted it. Third man up again. Need to guard against that. Hay was that player. Sturt tackled well. It'll go over the boundary line now. Corey Wingard will try to break the play up a little bit. He can do that.
Sometimes. And something's still got a fairly large backside of this. Nestle it in. Try and find a bit of space and release a runner. Let's see if one of these sides can do that. Scholar to do the ruck work up against Bishop. Big fellas do jostle. Neither gets their bottom in the way to open the space up. Bello coming through, lays a tackle. Goodness me, the umpire want to put him for overtime this afternoon. He's got about 1,000 bounces and 1,000 ball ups. See if we can get something going.
Shane's having trouble paying them enough as it is. Please don't bring up overtime.
Comes away of Bello. Been good this afternoon. Quick kick around the corner. On the end of that one, Central's have some numbers. They come through Thomas. Spears a pass out to the leading Shell. Gets his double a grab on it, but holds onto it in the end. He's had a good afternoon. Daniel Shell presented himself well. Kicked 1 in each quarter. Be fitting if he could get a 4th here. Manny Smith has worn him like a glove too. Crow's teammate. Been onto each other all afternoon. And Shell will have a shot from goal. Shot at goal, I should say. Just the left side of centre. Probably about a 10-degree angle. And he's going to kick from 45. Goes back and in the Darren Jarman routine that they set. I said that he kicked one in the first, one in the second, one in the third. He's going for forward. Be a fitting finish if he kicked up. You don't listen to me at all, do you, Poppy?
So are you talking to me then?
Shell coming in for goal. With the right boot, lays back on it a little bit. The goal umpire just shuffles across millimetres and watches the ball sail over his head.
So Daniel Shell, one in the first, one in the second, one in the third, and now one in the final quarter, Corey.
Wish I'd said that. Great job from Shell. Another one from Central. They go further ahead. You're listening to 5DN Footy.
The Australian Rail Travel Centre invites you aboard the legendary GAN on one of the world's greatest train journeys between Adelaide and Darwin. Packages include rail travel on the GAN, air travel, accommodation and touring to Alice Springs, Uluru, Kings Canyon, Katherine, Darwin and Kakadu National Park. Packages start from just $1,650. Call Australian Rail Travel Centre for your free brochure on 8231 4366. The Northern Territory. It'll never leave you.
Back in the centre of Nap Oval, Weatherald, quick kick forward towards left half forward flank. Gareda leads the way over White, just loses a grip on it and consequently under pressure. Squire on all fours, held in nicely by Thomas, and there'll be a bounce down. Left half forward, grandstand side, Sturt kicking to the northern end and trailing by 9 goals.
Begley and Matten are both up into the Crows lineup, and they really have missed the legs and the run, the drive that those two forwards supply off half-back, I should say.
No Guerra. Yeah, you're right, no Guerra. And for Sturt, no Begley, no Matner, no Feast, no Powell, no Thurston. Towards half forward, Sturt. Nice work, Campbell, round the body. Well, I've got to take the bloke's point. Guerra's worth 5 goals. White, Arca 50, feeds off. Weatherald busts a tackle, runs to 40, kicks towards the top of the square and just cannot find the 2 big posts. Nice work again by the doggies. Is doing the job. Thomas beats Squire to the ball, runs over the boundary line, does it nicely. Throw in. Had a fair bit of momentum up as he got towards the boundary line. So just near the intersection of boundary and 50, there'll be a boundary throw in.
The point I was making
about Seamus Maloney too.
The point I was making about the two Sturt boys are they take a lot of run out of the side. The beauty with Centrals, and we've mentioned it last week as well, is they lose a couple of players out of the side, but they can replace them with young kids that get the job done, and that's the great thing about this Central side. As they go again through the middle, skipper Daniel Healy away with a bounce, kicks them inside 50. Shell, big leap, not quite. Mark Pat's paid at the back. Shell had flown just underneath the footy. It was clever from the back. Shell had the lead, but standing tall was Howman with a good defensive mark. He has Matthew Smith running for him now. He's run off Shell. He's got to get hold of the footy here because a costly turnover will mean his man will get it. He goes back in for a second effort. Matthew Smith doesn't hold it. Wicks comes in to provide some support. Look out, Shell's all on his lonesome in the goal square. So too is Coulter. Comes to Chris Gowan. They're still there, the two boys. Get it on quick, Chrissy. He does now. Here's Shell because Smith had run forward. And he get back Matthew Smith. Shell gets high. Smith gets there for a contest. And Sturt luckily get the numbers back and relieve the pressure coming grandstand side. They go to Campbell. He's got a runner on. Riley had a few touches, not been as dominant as he would like. Brent Riley this afternoon gets it towards centre wing, pokes it out in front of White. That's a good pass. His skills really have improved in the past 12 months. He was good before. He's getting better now. Of course, that nasty injury playing for Sturt, the Anzac Day clash, I think it was, against Central District earlier in this year. White goes inboard inside the forward 50. Beveridge gives him a lead and takes a good mark. Deep up against the pocket. But Riley, from a Crow's perspective, we're looking to get some form back and knock on the door. Beveridge now goes long into the goal square. It's a pretty good-looking kick. I reckon it's home. I think it is. A goal for Sturt. Much needed goal too. Late in the final, or rather midway through the final term. 11 minutes gone. And Sturt get goal number 6 on the board. There, 6-7. Central's 14-7. You're listening to 5DN Footy.
Family. That's what's important at a time like this.
When you lose that special someone, it's important to have family around. One like the Grant family at Fulham Funerals.
They were so thoughtful and sincere.
Fulham Funerals has over 50 years' experience in funeral arrangement. And with prepaid funerals from $2,420, put yourself in the hands of the Grant family at Fulham Funerals. Just that little more attention to detail. Underdale, Elizabeth and Campbelltown. Phone 8234-0506.
At Nap Oval, all one-way traffic for most of this game. Sturt every so often pop up with one. Ball bounced down. Scholar, easy tap. Only goes as far as Squire, who tries to bust through the pack and can't. Nearly gives the ball up. Bishop put his head over the ball but went at it half-heartedly, and now as a result of that, Scholar gets the touch, kicks towards right half forward flank. Slade should have the pace to be first player there and will be. He just looks up forward, needs to go back to Steinberner, who kicks now to a contest. Cowan and Howman. Howman has first go at the ball, but Cowan reads it better. Hopwood comes in to lend a hand, gets a handball towards Coulter. He's 60 out, just loses a bit of a grip on it. Riley keeps it in, finds Howman, bit too casual. Steinberner now to Krieg. Krieg to Slade, draws a player, gets around him. That was Clun, and then kicks to within 40. Campbell sat underneath it. Bello read it beautifully, then ran into a pack of players, and now Sturt will be out of trouble. Nice work too. Sheedy feeds it off. Curtis runs down the corridor, draws a man and feeds it off to Wicks. From one paceman to another. Wicks' kick is pretty poor, really. Dent now goes short to Weatherald. He'll back himself in again. This time he needs to make it pay, and he does. Another goal. Weatherald has got his third of the afternoon. Sturt have got 7. They're 7-7. That's a total of 49. And Central are 14-7-91. You're listening to Footy on 5DN.
Good running there from Timmy Weatherall. He really worked hard and put the pedal to the middle. Unlike Shell, who kicked one in the first, the second, the third, and the fourth, Weatherall's just kicked one in the second, the third, and the fourth. So how many's he got all up?
He's got 3. That's
right. He's done well. He's done well as their leading goal kicker for the Double Blues. 2 goals also to Andrew Beveridge. Ball back in the middle. Set to go, Conway to do the ruck work up against Scholar. Worked hard today, Scholar. Gets a big fist on that one as well, releasing Krieg. Good young player, showing plenty of promise. Toes it forward, looking for Bello. Doesn't shirk the issue, crashes straight through. Goes back in and lays a tackle on Curtis as well. Curtis clever though, gets it out across to Howman. Here's some run from Sturt. All too little, all too late, but they're doing something at least. Clun goes up towards centre half forward, looking for White, forced under the footy. Take him when you can get him. White's got the free kick. Central's fans not too happy. Quick interchange, Big John Nankiville, Kane opposite coming on.
And Matty Slade leaving the ground. He's had a busy day, Matthew Slade. He's picked up 25 touches so far.
Ball inside 50 for Sturt. But a defensive mark taken by the Bulldogs and an infringement as well. I think it's going to be 25-metre penalty. Or he's just getting in a bit of push and shove. Slade, as you mentioned, Big John was very, very good early. Poppy was all over him like a rash. He was in everything.
What's the free kick count when you get a chance too, John? I know that Sturt for a while there in that third quarter seemed to get the better of the free kicks, but it's probably reasonably even, I would have thought.
Free kick count at the moment, we see Central with 19 to Sturt 8. In fact, it was
19 to 8, was it?
Yes, very early on it was very much in favour of the Dogs, and I think that's been the way, though it has evened up a bit more in the second half.
Ball kick long towards centre half forward. Good defensive mark taken back there by Conway. Could have done more of that today to help out his side, but he hasn't. Up towards centre wing. Cooper's got to go. Just took some short steps. Steinberner just loves a contest like that. Running with the flight of the foot. He knows it's going to be tough. Knows a body's going to come, and he stands tall. Inside forward 50. Defensive mark taken by Campbell. He was bodied on that one too, and that was some pretty good work. Across to Whiteman. He's got a player on the outer side at Squizzy Squire. We'll check his stat. Had a few touches in the third term, but really has been outpointed this afternoon. Goes inboard, looking for and finding Weatherall. Takes a one-headed mark and plays on quickly. He's got a runner. Elects not to use him, does now. Gets it back in the old 1-2. Right-footed kick. It's a wobbly one into some space. Beveridge is there. So too is Riley. He has to wheel around. Big U-turn. Not the probably chosen option. Centres it up though. Squares it up. Mark taken. Good work. Riley forced through the U-turn. Not a good sign for a side when you're playing footy like that, but he did square it up and found Clun. Kicks from outside 50. It's a long kick to a vacant goal square. Mark taken there by White. Play on goal.
Behind play.
Free kick Centrals, as Poppy said. It's going the way of Quentin Graham against Beveridge, I think. Off the footy. Just manhandling is what I would presume it was for. Yep. Quentin Graham, who's ever reliable in defence, plays state footy this year. He's a very, very underrated footy player, but does a very, very good job. Comes grandstand side to Steinberner, who's also been more than serviceable this afternoon. Long up and under kick towards the 5D commentary box. Centre wing. Ball spills past Hotwood towards the boundary line. Comes back in board. Hotwood sockers it off the ground. Another stat for him. Whiteman does well against Bello. Krieg comes in to lend support. 2-on-1. Central fans not happy. Free kick going the way of Whiteman for being taken too high. As I said, just trying to square the ledger now. It's just coming around. 19 to 8, as Big John Nankiville pointed out, so you can't probably complain too much, I think, if you're a Centrals fan. Sturt come grandstand side, looking for Riley. Oh, it didn't go for the footy. That was a bit disappointing. He's good enough to get it, though, at ground level. Goes inboard and finds a teammate. That's Conway. What can Sturt do now?
Go to Squire. Squire runs into trouble, turns on that left foot as you'd expect him to do. Can he find a teammate? He cannot. Cut off beautifully by Healy. Handball's under pressure, finds a raider. There's two experienced heads. He looks to his left also, and their doggies are out of trouble. Or are they? Kick smothered off the boot. White busts a tackle, and then handballs over the top. Sheedy to Weatherald. Weatherald to a teammate, and off they go. Nice work, the Sturt side, just momentarily. Bishop under pressure. Handballs at the Chambers. Chambers going to get one this afternoon. He cannot. Through for a minor score. No. Goal. I looked at Chambers, and he chucked the hands up in the air. I thought, well, he's disappointed with that, but what that was
all too little, all too late.
Oh, God. I'm not going to keep this tape for a future reference for another job today, I don't think.
Funnily enough, Sturt are just starting to put some sort of respectability on the scoreboard, because they've been outplayed, and we all know that. It is very, very false. Sturt 8-7, Central's 14-7. Now a 6-goal ball game. We've played 18 minutes of this final term. Now, 6 goals in 10 minutes?
No, don't be silly.
I was just trying to keep your Heinekens alive, but as it is, Big John and I are going to clean up. It's a beautiful thing. Ball out of the middle. Tap forward there. Chance for Sturt once more. Here they come again. Cooper. He runs into Steinburner. Great tackle. Steinburner hasn't stopped applying that pressure all day. Hands and knees. He jumps in again. Third man to the wrestling contest, or tackling contest, whichever way you want to see it. And he bottles the footy up, forcing the umpire to come in and have a bounce. 20 and a half minutes gone in this final term on the TAB Sportsbet time clock.
From quarter time, Sturt have added 7 goals 6 and Central 6 goals 5.
And not much, but shows you can't afford to start slowly against a good side like the Bulldogs. Ball to half forward. Dent with the footy. Swings onto his right boot. Puts it to the danger spot. Chambers is caught behind. What can he do? Big fly at the front. No one can take a mark to the double blues. Socket off the ground by the Bulldogs defence. And over the boundary line, 60 metres around from Sturt's goal. Big John Steinburner's had a busy afternoon for Central.
Certainly has. He's played very well this afternoon. Nathan Steinburner, he's had 20 touches on his wing.
Ball thrown back in, just outside 50. Double blue. Stephen White puts it inside 50. Dent needs to convert, and does. Goal number 9 for Sturt. They're within 5 goals. 10 minutes gone. Central 14-7. Sturt 9 goals 7.
It's actually 20 minutes gone. Dodgy time clock here at Elizabeth. So
what did I say? 10 minutes gone.
Possibly 10 minutes to go. What's it down to now?
I can't wait to just call a passenger play and not make a mistake. That's what I'm aiming for.
5 goals. 5 goals the margin.
I might just practice right now. Umpire walks in to bounce the ball.
Perhaps 8 minutes left. Can I talk about it now?
No.
What if Sturt get another one?
No.
In the next minute?
No.
It's sort of plant the seed. The Doggies are like one, just the setting of the ship. They've been in control all afternoon, and the scoreboard doesn't reflect their dominance on the park. But Sturt have just corrected the scoreboard in their favour a little bit in this final term. Ball out of the middle. Double Blues working hard. You can't take that away from them. The umpire comes in for another bounce. 20 and a half minutes gone in this final term. 91 plays 61. 30-point ball game in favour of Centrals. Central's fans want one more just to put their minds at ease, and Thomas comes away with it. He might provide something. He's been good this afternoon, and he's still running late in this final term. Inside forward 50, Scholar. Big fly, great mark. Well, the big fella's gone the rest at full forward. We said his side needed something, and he's responded with a big stretch and a big grab. Directly in front, pretty much 40 metres out. He puts this one through. There is absolutely no way Sturt have any show whatsoever if they ever did. Scholar comes in now. Right boot, lays back on it a bit. The goal umpire has not shuffled his shoes one iota. That's the ball game. Central 15-7 on the faster passes scoreboard. Sturt 9-7. This is 5D in footy.
This is an engineering workshop. 4 blokes and a boss upstairs in the office. It's a good-natured, happy place to work, but there's something missing. Do you know what it is? Have a listen.
My hands!
St John Ambulance can make a first aid kit that suits your work environment. Not just one off the shelf, but one that's tailor-made for your business. Call them. You'll not only give St John Ambulance a hand by buying one, you might also save one. St John Ambulance, first in first aid.
Around the grounds, thanks to Best Friend Magnetic Pain Relief Products, the original and the best at Richmond. It's Port Adelaide 14-12-96, breaking away from Westies 6-17-53. Norwood with a bit of a breather, 13-10-94 over Glenelgs, 11-12-78, and it's all Eagles at Woodville. 18-14, 122, leading the Roosters 13-8, 86.
Well, back here, it's all the doggies there. 15-7, Sturt 9-7, and they go again. Stansbury caught with the ball nut. Play on's the call. Nice work too. Doggies in trouble. Forward pocket, right side, kicking to the southern end. Crowd of around about 4,000 to 5,000 people, I suspect. Nap Oval today. As the sun starts to break through late in the day. It's been cool, but it's been pleasant enough. No real wind, no rain. It's been good. Scholar gets the tap. 30 metres out. Wex with the ball to Cooper, and in turn to Curtis. Curtis kicks to space and hopes that Weatherald can win the race to get the first touch, and he does. You'll need to give it off quickly, though. No, just waited a split second, and that was way too late. Bello under pressure also. He at least finds a teammate, and Hopwood provides a target around centre half forward. Short, yeah, finds Officer. Officer can also go short to Gowns and does. And I think that could be, it is Chris Gowns, who today has not bothered the scorer, whilst his brother has got two. Now that just won't do as far as Chris is concerned, and he'll kick this one. 15-7 plays 9-7. It's the doggies by 6 goals. We've played 23 and a bit minutes gone of this final quarter. Chris Gowns will kick from 45, directly in front, close enough too. Off the boot, neat, beautiful, well done. Central District away. 16-7, Sturt 9-7, footy on 5 to end.
This is the indoor and outdoor scene. Now, we're indoors, but it feels like we're outdoors because we're surrounded by the biggest range of outdoor furniture to be seen indoors in town. Over there is the indoor to outdoor scenes PVC outdoor range. And this is the indoor to outdoor scenes timber outdoor range. And this indoor is the indoor to outdoor scenes aluminium outdoor furniture, which is very in outdoors. And what's this door outdoor scene? No need to make a scene, madam.
Outdoor scene, Brighton Road, Somerton Park. The biggest outdoor furniture range indoors.
Back here at the NAP Oval, Central 16-7, Sturt 9-7. They're doing it comfortably, the Dogs. Chris Gow's just putting through his first goal of the afternoon. He has 30 for the season. His brother James has 32, a family tally to keep an eye on. As Timmy Weatherall goes inside the forward 50, Beveridge on a lead, leaves a big divot as he takes a diving mark in front of Quinton Graham, and he'll have a shot for goal. Beveridge, he's kicked 2 this afternoon, 1 in the first and 1 in the fourth as well. Tight angle. It's about, probably about 50 degrees. Again, Scotty Borlace might disagree, but it'll be about 50 degrees, and he's only kicking from 25 metres, so it should favour the right footer. He's in the left forward pocket. We'll see how he goes. Right up with Beveridge. We can see it quite comfortably from our 5BN commentary box. He's put it out to the right. He needs it to come back. It's not going to do that. In fact, it sailed across the face of goal. Good defensive mark taken by the Bulldogs. Didn't even register a score. So the score stays the same on the faster scoreboard. Central 16-7, 103. Leads Sturt 9-7, 61. Bulldogs hold it up. They're happy to see the time tick down now. 25 minutes gone on the TAB Sportsbet time clock. Another outstanding mark taken on the outer side. They really have got the game in control, and they've got the job done, is what Roy Laird would be saying to his players at the end of the day. They really have from woe to go. Sturt have shown some flashes, some good signs, but against this extremely talented Bulldog side, you've got to do it for the full 120 minutes. Healy still running for the Bulldogs, goes to centre half forward, tick inside 50, I should say, looking for Scholar, roved off hands, quick snap, another goal. That might be another one for Chrissy Gown. I think it is. That makes it 31 for the season for him, and James has got 32, so we'll keep an eye on that one. The boys, they remind each other during the week. They know what's going on. They're keeping a pretty good tally. 17-7 the Bulldogs, 9-7 Sturt. This is 5BN footy as a final siren sound. The siren here, there he goes again. Just going to make sure you can hear it. It has gone. The umpire's just waiting to blow full time. We can just get confirmation. The siren just not working here at the NAP Oval. I think it has gone. Full time here at the NAP Oval. The siren sounds for the 85th time.
86 actually.
There it goes. It keeps going. I reckon I can make more noise with my car horn than that siren. Central 17-7, 109. Run out comfortable winners over the Double Blues, 9-7, 61. A good win for the Bulldogs, and they really have stand themselves, I think, as a good side for this season. They reckon the game's still going. It's not the siren. Someone's just trying to clarify. There's chaos reigning supreme. Players are shaking hands. The goal umpires in the middle. I think you got to call the game over. This is terrible. The umpires are leaving the ground. I think we were just going to call it a game. I've never seen this before in SANFL footy.
All right,
I've never seen this before in junior footy.
Put it this way, I'm going to ask one thing. Can Sturt call it a no game?
I think they might try. I'd be having a go.
Can they call it a no game?
Well, are they going to go to the roof? What's going to happen here? The siren's sounding for some strange reason. They think the game's still on.
They're trying to warn them that the game's still going, but they keep hearing. I think it's over.
The umpires have just waved their flags to signal score is correct.
They're going to lodge a protest.
This is going to be unbelievable. 17-7 the Bulldogs, Sturt 9-7. So the Bulldogs very, very comfortable here. They're still trying to wave the flags and sound the sirens. They think there's still time left on the clock. Not enough for Sturt to win the contest, but Poppy reckons Sturt might try and call this a no game.
No, they wouldn't do that.
That's only because you've got a cart and a Heineken on the outcome.
Well, put it this way, I'm lodging in the protest.
Put me in the good book. We'll take a quick break here from the NAPA. We'll come back, talk more about this game. Don't forget, between 5 and 6, our talkback hour, thanks to the Wakefield Hotel. We'll get things sorted out, find out what the umpires have got to say, find out what the heck's going on, and update you right here on 5DN Footy.
My name's Brenton Ward. You may know me as Mr. 1%. For years now, we've been saving home sellers thousands. That's because Brenton Ward Real Estate's professional fee is only 1.1%. We don't have any hidden charges. Unlike many other agents, we will tell you exactly what it will cost.
Checkings and scores from the other grounds. Lord 13,